spoiler warning, does E3. Today we are doing the PC Gamer Conference, which will start in just a moment. With me today is Jarenth, and just Jarenth. Everybody else is busy at work or something.
Hey everyone, again. I count for 2 Jarens this time.
Probably no Death
Yeah,
Death Stranding.
Sewer Shark, because they published Sewer Shark on Sega CD.
Sewer Shark's an old FMV, right?
Yeah.
I love Sewer
That's
Shark.
an old IP that maybe they can bring some life back into.
I doubt it. New
Who
Sonic?
owns Sewer Shark?
It said Sony Pictures right in the front of it. It went Sony Pictures.
So, these Twitch talking heads just keep talking. I really wish they had like a stream for people who are restreaming it that was just like none of this and just had title cards with countdown timers, because that would be a lot more conducive to talking.
What if we wanted to snark about the snarkers? Then we'd miss that.
You're right. Oh man, that's way quieter.
Be sure to stick around because you won't want to miss it.
Yeah, he took a while to spin up. Hey, there's your thing.
Yay! A 6-second countdown timer.
Why am I looking at Overwatch all of a sudden? Oh, that's all.
Why do we call it the personal computer? Well, it's not just a box
because of
or
naming
it's
conventions
mine,
from
right?
the 70s.
Hands off.
Your PC doesn't exist without you. And you don't just use your PC.
It very
you're
much
its keeper.
does,
You're
actually.
responsible for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty
PC
sure
gamers get
my
their hands
PC's
dirty.
existence, like
We
physically,
turn
is
the
not
screws,
contingent
we
on
clean the fans,
my
we thread the
presence.
cables. It's got your
Well, I guess you could
fingerprints on
make an
it.
interesting
And it has a
If
philosophical
I die
argument.
tomorrow
We build our PCs,
and
and through
my
them,
landlord
we build
walks in after a
friendships.
week and turns a PC on,
And
the PC's
rivalries.
not gonna be no.
We build communities and our
It's
reflexes.
gonna be beep boop. I'm a computer.
We write stories, we make mods because we get to decide what experience we
Get
want.
the hell out of my face.
Well, it's nice to
God
see
bless
Preston
you,
Garvey get
modders.
what he deserves.
PCs are scaffolding for our imaginations. That's what PC gaming means to us. To build. And to give back to your hobby as much as it gives to you. This is the PC Gaming Show 2017.
Powered by Intel, so that promises.
They just had a press conference.
This is the PC Gaming Show, sponsored by Intel. How are you all doing this fine morning? Ah, yes. You're
This
doing
is the
groove.
Intel
That's
stage.
excellent.
They've
I'm your
changed
host,
the
Sean
color of the
Dana.
background.
If you have never been to this show before,
Well, at
it's
least they have an
we
audience
have
this
a slew
time.
of incredible guests who are going to talk about all their upcoming games, one after the other. So, I'd like to warmly welcome all of you for coming out to the beautiful Ace Hotel Theater in downtown Los Angeles. Twitch chat, it's a pleasure to have you here. I know that you're currently being productive and constructive in chat right now. Now, if you're interested in
It's
watching
funny
in another
because the
language,
Twitch
over at
chat on the official
PCGamingShow.com, we
Twitch stream
have
isn't
German,
loading for
Spanish,
me.
Russian,
So
Chinese,
it's like a
Italian,
calm oasis.
Great.
right here for English coverage. And without
love
any
it.
further ado, let's find out what's happening this year at the PC Gaming Show.
This is the PC Gaming
Is it gonna be
Show,
PC gaming?
live from the theater at Ace Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, California.
What is this discount
Coming up.
John St. John voice?
Intel explores the future of
It's
PC
the voice of
gaming.
Darkest Dungeon.
New announcements from Xbox. Jordan Weissman, the creator of MechWarrior, gives a first ever look at BattleTech's campaign. New footage for Middle-earth, Shadow of War. A new game from Clay Entertainment.
New Clay game is
gameplay
cool.
from Total War, Warhammer 2. New announcements
Lizardmans.
for
Don't care about
PlayerUnknown's
Warhammer.
Battlegrounds.
Lizardmans.
An exciting reveal from
How many of
Tripwire
these things are
Interactive.
we already going to have seen?
And plenty
Um,
more. Now, once again,
Well, the PC like
Sean
indie publishers like Clay are not gonna
Thank you so
have
much,
shown up
evil,
before.
omnipotent voice in the sky. Let's talk about our very first
I
game.
assume
It's
that
an
everything about the
expansion to
Xbox and
legendary
also the
and
stuff about
infamous
PlayerUnknown's
turn-based
Battlegrounds we
strategy
know.
game, XCOM 2.
Probably.
Let's take a look
I don't know. Maybe they'll show us like new maps for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
I didn't hear about an XCOM 2 expansion until like earlier today.
Yeah, I
Because
think
I've
they
heard that
mentioned
again.
it like last week sometime. Or maybe
I'm
it was
interested.
leaked.
I haven't played any of the earlier expansions yet.
Have there been earlier expansions?
Not the mini expansions.
Oh, this is it.
Yep, that's what they just said.
Oh, are you gonna play the aliens?
There are new aliens and they're like people. Except blue. Now, these are the avatars that you were inhabiting, right?
I thought they had more Super
look like
Saiyan
that.
hair. What is that Halo sword?
There were 3 resistance groups that we consider a legitimate threat to Advent. Together, they'd make one hell of a fighting force. Too bad they hate each other.
We beat Advent.
Hey, it's Steve.
So, you do
Substitute.
exist.
They were sent here to purge the lost.
You are safe here.
What's this Metro shit?
It's funny, I was thinking Destiny.
Almost. I haven't played this.
I mean,
That can't be good.
that's kind of cool, I guess. I'd like to know more about what the actual gameplay is going to look like, because
Real war begins.
XCOM 2 was really disappointing on a lot of levels.
Is this gonna be like the XCOM 1 expansion where it's just the same campaign, but you play it again with more stuff?
I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel like it makes sense for there to be other campaigns.
Director of XCOM 2 over at Firaxis, Jake Solomon. Pleasure to have you here today.
This is very exciting. We
Oh, let's see
finally
what
get to
Jake
talk
Solomon
about
has
this.
to
So
say.
yes, I'm very pumped. Thank you for having us.
Well, then tell us, what is War of the Chosen all about?
Well, so the goal with this game really was to make something massive. So we added a ton of new enemies, lots of new soldier classes, new environments, story, strategy systems, just tons of new toys for players to engage with.
We
I
made our
understand
timer
it's an
system not
expansion that's
fucking
even
suck.
larger than any of the ones you've done previously.
Yeah, easily twice the size of the previous XCOM expansion. It is massive.
Well, let's go ahead and start talking about some of the content that's in there.
What
Who
is it with the
are
camera
Chosen?
being in the shot?
Chosen, right? You saw them, they starred in the trailer. So they were designed to be the ultimate enemies of XCOM. They are 3 almost champions of the alien army. And they have 3 very distinct personalities and 3 very distinct fighting styles. And the player is going to get to know those very well, because over the course of a whole game, they're going to fight each of those Chosen multiple times.
Nothing says
And
XCOM
the Chosen,
like
just like
particular
the player,
units that you
they
fight
get
over and
stronger
over
the
again
course
with
of
a
the game. They
personality
learn
that
new
are not
skills, new
camouflaged.
abilities. They even gain new procedural strengths that the player's going to have to contend with.
So in a sense, it's not like
I
a
mean,
normal enemy where you might see a Chosen in one
It doesn't
battle and
bother
a
me that
Chosen in the
much.
next. It will
Like,
be the
XCOM
same
2 could
Chosen again and
use
again
some
and
more
again, getting new
variety
strengths.
That's
in
right.
mission.
That's right. And so you just they
That
always have
is
something
true.
new up their sleeve because they're always learning sort of new tricks.
Well, you mentioned the personalities of the different Chosen.
Yeah.
Walk me through who the Chosen are and what these strengths and weaknesses
New
might
Dark
be.
Cloud
Yeah,
says they
so
did that
for
though.
example,
That was a
there's
Hunt
the
DLC and
assassin,
it sucked.
And her personality
Yeah,
is
I was
tied up
doing
in
a snark
duty
thing.
and honor. She feels very honor-bound to serve her masters, her creators.
Rip all
and
the
she
mods
does
that
it,
were
of course,
finally
by
working.
hunting
Yeah.
down XCOM and killing soldiers, you know.
Yeah, I
This
have
is-
the Log War installed. I should probably
We're
play
bringing
one
back
of those
some familiar
before
elements
this
from
comes
earlier
out.
games,
Yeah.
And so,
The-
but combat-wise, she's a mix of
When did
stealth
XCOM 2
and
come
close
out? I
quarter
feel like it was a
combat, so she
2015
can
game. This is
vanish from
weird.
sight, and she uses that to get in close on the soldiers and use the
Something like
blade.
that?
So, like the other Chosen, she's very powerful.
no, it
and
was
she
actually
has a
just
sort of
last
unique fighting
year.
style that the player hasn't
February
seen
5th,
before.
And we
2016.
talked
Wow. I
about
feel like it's
this
been
new
longer than that.
obstacle
Yeah,
in
that's
the
late-
form
that's
of the
late-
Chosen.
that's
you
late
mentioned the assassin.
2015,
Who are the
right,
other
early
Chosen?
There's the
2016.
hunter, that's more of a long-range sniper.
Yeah.
And then we have the warlock, which is, you know, a warlock. So,
Thanks!
yeah,
It's a warlock!
So yeah, they all have very unique.
We know what a
skill sets.
warlock
It's
is.
We
They
we
cast damage
ported
all the
over
time
some
spells.
WoW
What about the new
characters.
tools that players have in order to try to overcome this obstacle of the Chosen?
Yes, so as you saw in the trailer, XCOM is not the only resistance movement.
You're
on
right,
Earth.
Admiral Bosch.
So in
It
War
was
of the
very
Chosen,
long,
you
yeah.
have
Yeah,
these three
really.
factions out there, and like the Chosen, they all have distinct philosophies and distinct fighting styles. But for the player to get access to those, first they have to win those factions over.
How
They have
do
to recruit them
distinct
to the XCOM
philosophies
cause.
fit
But when
into
you do,
the
you have access to
all-encompassing
the
alien
most
control
powerful soldiers we've
force?
ever created. So
And we're taking a look at the Reaper right now.
No, these are the
that's right,
resistance.
the Reapers. So
Oh,
they are
okay.
Sort of,
That makes
stealth marksmen and
more
saboteurs.
sense.
Of course, these
Then
are
we have
called
the
the Reapers.
skirmishers, which are actually defectors from the alien army.
Oh, that makes sense with the art style. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Look at those fingers. Yeah, so they're half alien human hybrids, and they're sort of like single soldier wrecking crews. They're really powerful. And then we have the Templars, and they're the most mysterious of the factions. They are psionic wildness.
Low
and they work a
swords.
little differently because they build up power.
They are
over
actually the
multiple
Arbiter
attacks
from Halo.
that they can then
Yeah.
unleash in more devastating
We
abilities.
we
like
bought
a mini
Bungie
resource management
because they're not
program
doing
specifically
anything
for
at
the
this
temple.
point.
It definitely is. There's trade-offs there, whereas
Or
they
not
gain
Bungie,
focus,
343 Studios,
you either
'cause
wanna
Bungie's
keep
off
it
doing
because it
Destiny
makes
and
them
doesn't do Halo
stronger,
anymore.
Or you can spend it on these really powerful abilities.
Now, in the trailer, we got the chance to briefly look at the Lost. And though we didn't see them too
Right.
much, I wanted to get the chance for you to talk about them a little more now. Who are they?
Right. So the Lost. This comes out of the idea that the
Say
original
zombie.
alien invasion happened
Hello?
20 years ago. And in
Say
that invasion,
zombies.
the aliens destroyed some of the greatest cities of the world, and we've never been back.
They had
So in War of
zombies,
the
though.
Chosen,
They already
we
had
go back,
zombies.
and what you find there
Oh,
are the
God.
Yeah,
Lost,
but those are like
are
chrysalid
these
zombies.
handsome.
I thought that everyone in the cities died, but apparently they're alive and well. They're doing fine.
Yeah, as you can see, they've weathered the last 20
Or
years
ghouls.
really well.
Say zombies or ghouls. I
Yeah,
accept
these
either.
are heavily mutated humans, and a single Lost is not going to pose much of a challenge.
Sure.
Why is
but
the fake nerd from
unfortunately, you don't
NCIS
fight
hosting
single
this
Lost. They move
conference?
in large swarms, and so when you go into the cities, these swarms are drawn to the sound of combat, and they never stop coming. And there is a silver lining, which is that the Lost don't like aliens either. So,
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so once the Lost show up, then everybody's fighting for the Lost.
Why
I know
would
that a
they
big hallmark of the
create
XCOM games is the
zombies
sort
with
of
their toxic
tactical
gas
maneuvers of
that
the AI
hates
that
them?
In the same way you're planning, it's
Like,
planning
what-
too. But the Lost
Well, how
behave
would you
quite
do it?
differently.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
they're
create
mindless.
zombies.
So the idea is that you have this tactical combat going on against you versus the Advent, the aliens, and then all of a sudden this horde shows up and it throws everybody's plans.
is the
out of
E3
whack.
audio
They've got
pretty
this
low?
cool
Female
tactical
mass
combat
murderer
that you'd
chosen,
like, and then
lost,
suddenly the AI
and fighting
director
the
from
Advent
Left
at
4
the
Dead
same
shows
time.
up.
It makes for some very, very beautiful chaos. It is definitely unlike any other XCOM missions you've played.
Well, Jake, you're the first guest out, so I'm going to ask you the big question.
Okay.
When do we get to play it?
We get to play this. War of the Chosen comes
Oh,
out.
I thought they were
August
gonna do an
29th,
actual
so
game
very
show
soon.
thing,
That's
which
right, very soon
they
on
did
PC,
last year.
Oh, wow.
Xbox One, and PS4. So
It's gonna
people should
launch in 2
follow
months.
XCOM on
That's
Twitter and
pretty
Facebook
impressive.
if they want to
We've
keep
gotten a
up
lot
with
of
all
like
the latest
August,
XCOM information.
September
And Jake
release
didn't want to
dates
do this, but I'm going
this
to make him
conference,
do
actually.
it. Follow Jake on Twitter. It's at Solomon Jake. Follow him, say hello, and tell him you're proud to be a follower.
I'm
Yes,
I'm
yes,
surprised that
please,
we didn't
please.
get
Thank
an
you.
Xbox One X
I
release
don't
date.
like self-promotion.
Don't worry, I got you covered.
I
At
paid
Jake
Sean for
Solomon.
that. Thank you.
It's like
at
it's
Jake
just
Solomon.
nebulously
At Jake
fall.
Solomon. Thanks so much for joining me today. Jake Solomon, creative director of XCOM 2.
Thank you. Thanks.
Also, no mention at all of
Now-
fucking timers and
As some
awful
of you may
timed
know, I
missions
am not
being the
only
only thing you
host
could
at this
do.
event. Joining me to do all
Well, I
sorts
assume
of
they're working
announcement
on that
goodies
still.
is a woman named Sonia Reed, but you may know her a little better as OMG It's Firefox. How's it
Oh,
going, Sonia?
it's that person again.
Hi. Thank you, Sean, and hello, you beautiful gamers. And whether
Still
you are checking
recovering
us out
from that horrible
online
VR thing I
or
was
you're
doing
hanging
an
out
hour
with us
ago.
here today, I am super excited to be here and show you guys some awesome games. And you know what? I'm not going to wait. We're just going to get right into it. I want to show you a game called Ooblets. It is going to be coming out early next year, and it is from an impressive
Blitz.
studio of only 2 people called Glumberlands. So it's kind of a mashup between Harvest Moon meets Pokemon meets Adventure Time,
These are
but
some
even
very
cuter, if you
mouthy
can imagine that.
names.
So I'm going to show you how to
Ooblets.
grow and customize your Ooblets in this
Glumberland.
exclusive trailer.
Is this just Harvest Moon?
Ooblets has been doing big numbers on Twitter, so I think a lot of people already know a bunch about it. But yeah, you harvest Pokemon from it. You Pokemon.
Ah, I see.
Maybe like a degree of Animal Crossing. I don't know.
Oh, is this a Double Fine thing?
They publish it,
Ah.
but they're not involved in making it.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about this. I look at this and I go, why would I play this instead of Stardew Valley? And I didn't even play very much Stardew Valley, so...
Well, I mean, I played a ton of Stardew Valley up until the point where I was bored with it. This seems new and interesting now. If only because Stardew Valley doesn't have Pokemon.
That's true. These are also not technically Pokemon.
That trailer.
What is this?
That trailer... No, shut the hell up.
Yeah,
Next
what?
trailer.
What was that?
BattleTech.
I'm on him.
Oh, is this some kind of like mech real-time tactics thing?
Yes, Commander. Moving to position.
That looks kind of cool.
I know at least 2 or 3 people who are looking forward to this being a
That
reality.
Ooblets trailer makes me oh so happy, and the previous one you just got the chance to see is the old school tabletop game BattleTech, distilled into its
Tabletop
purest form
game.
on PC. And here to talk about it from Hairbrained
I wasn't
Schemes
gonna mention
is
it,
Jordan Wiseman and Mitch Gettleman. Welcome, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to have you up on stage.
Thank you very much.
Yes, that's the spirit.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, there's been a lot of games based on BattleTech. Tell us about this incarnation.
By all means, BattleTech is a modern, turn-based tactical game set within the MechWarriors universe. There's going to be 3 modes of play: a single-player skirmish, a multiplayer skirmish, and then our open-ended mercenary campaign.
Well, I want to hop straight into some of that single-player content by taking a journey to the Argo. I understand that, you know, there's all sorts of combat goodies that we're going to see in a moment, but the Argo is in between missions. Walk us through what we're seeing
Right, so
here.
the Argo is
Just say
a
mission
broken
hub.
down hulk of a spaceship from
Is
a
the
bygone
captain
era,
named
and
Jason?
it is your mercenary command center. You could take it all over space, going from star system to star system, and taking mercenary
I'll admit that
jobs
took me
from
like a minute
all
to
sorts
click,
of different
but
people,
I've had a
from
long day.
petty dictators all the way up to the great lords and ladies of the noble houses. And from there, you can also command your entire mercenary crew. There's Samiri, she's your navigator,
She looks
and
very
you
bored.
command her and all of your mech warriors
In
as
the
you take
future,
your
all
jobs
vests are
and
made
upgrade
of
your
denim.
ship.
I'm curious a little bit about the storyline in the single player.
Sure. So you're going to see in a few moments Lady Kamea Arano. She's a deposed ruler. Her
She looks good.
throne was taken by her uncle, and you are going to jump in and help her regain her throne. Of
course.
It's been plunged. The whole space has been plunged into a bloody civil war.
And these, of course, are the tools of
I mean, this looks pretty cool.
negotiation and diplomacy called battle mechs. And here in the mech bay, which is one of the key components of the Argo, you're able to customize the mechs, adding different weapons, changing out weapons,
hey,
armor,
it's
heat sinks,
Alex
all that kind of
from
stuff.
Prey.
Yang here is your master of ceremonies. He's one of the key.
He's done
They
well
get
for
Benedict
himself.
Wong
Fixing these
for
mechs
it.
after you come back from combat. You're a merc. You're supposed to make
Right.
money. Taking damage, sets you behind.
Like
And so
Ashby's
that's a really
Neuromods
delicate
sucks.
balancing
Giant
act.
robots,
I
that's
can
what's
imagine trying to get all the parts.
That
that you need
technology
for
will
your ship.
never go
It can
wrong.
be a little difficult.
Absolutely. That's why things like, especially in this time in era where parts are scarce, battlefield salvage is an important part of the game, and that also gets into like when you take out an enemy, try to leave the parts you want.
Yeah, you want to hit him just hard enough to take him down. There's Lady Kamea Arano there, and she's going to be the person you work for during the campaign. But of course, when the campaign ends, the single-player story ends, you can still play the open-ended campaign, traveling around doing whatever you want. And there are the battle mechs.
Yes, now we're going to get a chance to look
So
at
when
the
the
combat
campaign ends,
itself.
you can
You're coming
continue
down from the
playing
Argo, you're descending
for
into
no
battle.
reason.
Walk me through
Yeah,
what we're
you can
seeing.
just murder
By
all the
means.
trees.
So BattleTech full 3D environment, and like a modern tactical game, the environment counts, right? Line of sight, sensors, cover. Even though you're friggin' 30 foot tall, covered in armor, hiding in a forest still helps. It soaks off damage. And so all of those are kind of core components of any modern game.
will
and especially
sacrifice
facing,
the
which is very
trees
important.
so I
Facing
can
really
live.
matters in BattleTech. Battle mechs aren't
But the
giant
trees are your
bags of
friends.
hit points. Instead, they have 11 different armor locations. There's internal structure. They have the internal components, these critical slots filled with all sorts of important pieces. So what you're trying to do is strip off the armor from one location and then keep your facing to try and penetrate it, get to the juicy bits.
Yeah, I mean, I see this diagram at the top. It's reminiscent of the original tabletop game, which I actually played as a kid. And I mean, like...
As a kid, huh? Thanks, pal.
I mean, I understand that it's the same sort of idea where damaging the arm disables that weapon, but the mech can keep going.
And you keep going at it, you blow that arm off, and they lose those weapons.
And the back is really juicy and tasty, too. You get around the back of a battle mech and penetrate.
I'm glad that they are as aware of that as I immediately was, of how inherently sexual and weird everything they're saying is.
One of the things we're really excited about.
Yeah, that's probably not what they're intentionally going for.
Well, and so going up and
at least they're embracing it.
Slug and kick and just even put a foot through a cockpit or death from above, jump up and slam down on mechs. All that stuff is supported in this game. And
you really want to manage your heat too. You're walking. These mechs. The pilots are sitting on a giant nuclear reactor, basically, and so you really want to watch your heat, how much
like this
your,
guy here is
your
overheating.
different weapons do, because if you shut down in combat, you are quite vulnerable.
It's been really fascinating to watch a lot of the streams because I know you guys just went into beta. Where can the people here go to sign up to play?
Why, Sean, they can go to BattleTech.
I think the better way to do it is to just go all in.
Come find us on BattleTechGame.com.
And if you're interested in a used mech, this is the guy to talk to.
That's right.
It's either or.
Now I'd like to state again.
The middle thing they're doing is not working.
Thank you guys.
You either need to go 100% embrace it completely, or get the fuck out.
Now, our very next game you may recognize from PC Games past. To talk about it, we got Sonya in the mezzanine.
Thank you, Sean. Our next game is going to come to us from our friends at Tales World Entertainment.
Oh, that's not
and
a
they have
green
been working
screen
on an
background.
awesome open-ended action medieval RPG game, so I don't want to waste any more time. Let's just get right into it. We're going to check out the trailer for Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord.
Finally.
Mountain Blade 2, the fourth game.
Please give me a release date. Please make it this year. Say September.
I like how the subtitles went for Mountain.
Oh, we don't have the subtitles on. I don't know how to turn the subtitles on this browser source thing, so.
It's an option at the lower right of the screen.
No, I'm not. That's not. Like, I'm streaming from, like, the embed itself using OBS, so I don't have, like, I'm not streaming a browser.
I don't listen too much. Also, yeah, this is very much Mountain Blade, except prettier.
I mean, the interface still looks kind of crappy, but, it wouldn't be Mountain Blade with a good interface, so.
I feel it very accurately emulates how difficult actual warfare is.
Like, the Mountain Blade combat still kind of bothers me, at least, like, the ground on foot with a sword combat is significantly less realistic than it might seem, and also really awkward to control, so I'm hoping they kind of fine-tune that a bit.
So that guy with 3 arrows sticking out of him, he's dead, right?
Always a pleasure to have Mountain Blade 2 here at
I mean,
the PC
arrows were
Gaming
not
Show.
super
now, I know we've
lethal.
just gotten started, and we've seen
Yeah, but wound
XCOM,
infection
Ooblets, and BattleTech.
Well,
we would love to hear
yes.
your thoughts. Use hashtag PC Gaming Show. Let us know what you think. We'll even put some
My
of the
thoughts
tweets
are,
up here
please
live.
fucking release
Not
this
all of
game
the tweets,
already.
'cause that would be a
God.
disaster. Some of you on Twitter really need to pull it together. But either way, we'd be thrilled to hear your
Hashtag,
thoughts.
you've been
Coming up
developing this
next,
for
we
10
have
fucking
the
years.
sequel to Total
But
War
Gallows
Warhammer
Anatomy
1
asks, is it in
Total
4K?
War Warhammer 2. I'm joined by Al Bickham
No!
from Assembly. How's it going, Al?
No, go back to Bannerlord, god
Tell
damn
me,
it!
What is it that's been going on since your announcement a few months ago?
We're gonna talk about a game that we didn't just show. Camera in the shot, fuck!
Trilogy. It's going to be every bit as big as the first game, but we're layering on. We're sort of doubling down on all the stuff that made the first game so fun, which is real diversification between the factions, and a whole range of new kind of gameplay extras in the campaign game as well. So 4 new factions set across 4 new continents. And
4
a new
new Johnny from the block says, fun fact, Bannerlord began development before the pyramids were built.
I believe it at this point.
We're focusing on the High Elves and the Lizardmen at the moment.
Yeah.
But there's
well, it definitely began development before the Assassin's Creed Origins
we have yet to announce.
Yes.
I know, terrible, isn't it?
Well, Al, talk to
I
us
shouldn't
a little
be,
bit
but I am
about
actually
the
pretty
High
excited
Elves
for
and the
Assassin's
Lizardmen.
Creed
Right,
Origins.
so
Just
they're both
because it's
essentially
ancient
working
Egypt.
towards the same goal in the campaign game, which is to heal the
Yeah,
Great
I've seen a
Vortex,
lot of
which is
that on Twitter.
a sort of unique feature of the campaign map which ties the whole
I
narrative
think
of the
that
game
it's going to
together.
be a very
But
interesting game and a very
even
disappointing
those
Assassin's
in the
Creed
Warhammer world
experience.
with the same
Yeah,
aims
which
will
like
inevitably come to
I
blows
don't
at
like
some point,
Assassin's
so
Creed as
that's
an
what
experience
we're,
at this
that's what we'll
point,
be showing
so I
today.
don't
And
really
we're going to be
care that
looking
much.
at what is called a quest battle
Yeah, that's
between the High Elves and the Lizardmen. Walk us through a little bit of what we're
But like
about
that
to see.
part of the
Okay, so
trailer
this
where they're
is,
like,
we're
I'm
about
going
show
to
some
avoid
footage from
these
the
2
quest
guards
battle.
because they're
The
too
Crocodile,
high
who's one
level
of the
for
legendary
me.
lords for the Lizardmen.
And like,
Did
you're
they
an
actually do
assassin.
that?
It's quest battles, and it's the battle for the Fallen Gates.
That's
So
like
you'll
he
see
snuck around a few
the
dudes
Master
with
Lizardman
numbers.
I
over
remember
his
that.
hands.
The High Elves
I
as they
wasn't.
I watched
I
the
didn't
streamer
realize
stream
it
later
was
where they
a
explained that it was your level.
Oh man, that does kind of suck.
Well,
What the
I'm very
fuck
excited
was
to
that?
take a look. It's going to be some in-game footage from
Lizardmen.
the Battle of the Fallen Gates.
Also known as the only faction that matters.
Well, I'm glad we're still
Come
having
at me,
technical
Warhammer
problems.
nerds. Lizardmen rule. Everyone else drools.
I feel like I would be way more into this if I cared at all about Warhammer. I'm just kind of waiting for Creative Assembly to do their next historical game. I even have
Just
Warhammer
dinosaurs.
Total War and I still haven't played it.
The dinosaurs riding other dinosaurs.
I don't care. That's
You
like
should.
dragons, so what? Who cares? Yeah, this is Total War Warhammer 2.
Is
For
it
those of you
actually a
not
public
sure
sequel
what's
or
going
just a
on, it's not a MOBA, this is a Total War game. It's an RTS.
That didn't actually show us anything.
No.
Except
I'm
the
surprised that
first
they're not doing like a big gameplay demo. 'Cause that's usually what they do when showing these off.
That is the first time I think we've got the chance to see that official release date.
Yep, we're announcing that today. We're officially out on the 28th of September. So we're
See a
available
lot
for
of
pre-orders
August,
now.
September
We've got
release dates.
An early adopter bonus, which is...
In fact, I haven't seen very many November dates at all.
A bunch of new content for Warhammer 1. It's a new
Which is
race
strange.
pack, in fact. So yeah.
In fairness, it's an
we're out this
incredibly
year.
overpacked
I want to take a
year
step back, and I want to have you
for
talk a
good
little bit
games,
about
so I
what
feel
it
a lot
was
of
that we
developers are
just
just
saw
trying
in
to
the
get their
Battle of the
stuff
Fallen
out
Gates.
before we
Right,
get
so
swamped.
as I mentioned, this is a quest battle, and this is
But
the
that leads to them
versus
all
the High
releasing
Elves,
before the others,
and this is what we've got
which is still
playable
bad
here
swamping,
at
I
E3
think.
this week. So you'll be able to take control of the Lizardmen in that battle and experience that immense diversity and all the crazy stuff that's going on in their army, because they're essentially an army of ancient spacefaring dinosaurs, and they, you know, small dinosaurs that ride big dinosaurs with Aztec space lasers, and it's playing with.
One
Warhammer.
imagines that
dinosaurs all the
ancient
way down.
spacefaring
All the way up, all the way
dinosaurs would
down, yeah.
immediately
So-
conquer the
and
entire
Warhammer
planet.
gives us these toys to play with to make the game with.
Well, there's a
Well,
reason
backing
why they
out
don't.
of the battle,
I know
that
enough
the
about
campaign
Warhammer that I
map in
could
Total
explain
War
this,
Warhammer was a
but
big
nobody's
hit. What's
interested.
going on with the campaign
I'm
level
interested.
in
Explain to
Warhammer
me
2?
why
So Warhammer 2, we've got a ton of
the
new
ancient
campaign features which lead you
spacefaring
to kind of
laser
explore and
dinosaurs have
discover
not
and gain new
conquered the
abilities
entire
and that kind of
planet.
Okay, so the
And it's
ancient
all based
spacefaring
around,
dinosaurs and toads are
a sort of
actually the
overarching
minions
narrative,
of
so
an
all the
even
races
older
are
race
in-
called
are
the
intention
Old
right until the
Ones.
end.
Okay.
And
But
those
we're
are
also
just sort
shortly
of
after
traveling
launch,
around the
we're also
galaxy,
releasing a free
seeding
update for the
life
game,
and bringing
which
order
will
and being
bring
cool.
the combined
They put the
campaign into
lizardmen
play,
on this
which is
planet and said, hey, we have a
landmass from
plan for
Warhammer
this
1
planet, and you
and
guys have
Warhammer
to do
2
that.
together in a gigantic
And
campaign
that
map
plan
where you
is
can play
sort of
any
what they're
level
still
races
following,
that you own.
Oh,
even
so
though
it's-
the old ones
Well, I
disappeared
understand
like
you have
millennia
players here
ago.
E3
So their
not just
plan
in
was
this show,
not
but also on
to
the floor.
conquer
What
the
players gonna
entire
get the chance to
planet.
play there?
Yep, so they can play the battle.
their
But
plan
just
was to
be
see the
cool
planet light.
dinosaurs.
Kind of starter difficulty mode and a veteran's difficulty
Well,
mode.
I mean,
And
part
then
of the
also
plan
get to
was
see,
like,
we're
at
also
some point the
rolling
dwarves are
when you
doing
play,
alright,
you'll
and
see the
everything was
actual
good.
campaign map as
And
well.
then the
We'll put
lizards
video
read their
together
plan,
that
and it was like,
details
make a
loads of
new
features
mountain
in the
right where the
campaign, so you
dwarves
can
are.
actually see that in action as
And they're
well.
like, all right,
So if
the
you get a
plan
chance,
says
go
make
play.
a new
It's really
mountain
good
right
fun.
where the dwarves
Well,
are.
Al, I want to thank
So
you
they
for coming
did.
out and talking to us today
My
about Total
pleasure.
War Warhammer
And a whole bunch
2.
of dwarves died,
Once
and then
again,
the orcs took
feel free
over,
to
and it was
check it
civil
out
war
on the
unrest,
E3
and
floor, or if you're at
basically
home,
the
there'll be tons
Warhammer
of footage
setting.
and updates about the battle.
But the lizards don't care. If it's in the plan, it's in the plan.
Our next game is in the card game genre, a genre where no matter how hard I try, I wind up playing bad decks and having fun. Here to talk about the upcoming expansion for Shadowverse is Kriparian.
The hell is Shadowverse?
Hey guys, how's it going? Kriparian here. Today I want to talk to you guys about Shadowverse.
I think I know what
Shadowverse is
Shadowverse
one of
is,
the
but I'm
best
also
card
not
games
sure.
out there because it basically just does everything right. Every
Also,
time
why
I
does this
log
guy
into
look like Steve
Shadowverse, I have
Shives?
an amazing experience. I can play whatever deck type, whatever deck, whatever cards, anything I want to do. And of course, every time there's new cards added to the game, this whole thing gets forwarded,
Oh, this is
and
the anime
really the
card
game
game.
gets
I remember.
so much richer. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the worldwide debut of the Wonderland Dreams trailer.
It's like Hearthstone, but anime.
Hearthstone is already practically anime.
I
this is
have
like
a book
actual
for
anime.
thee, like no other. Each page a window to
Wait,
a
do they actually have
long-lost
anime
land,
licensing
where
tie-ins?
fairy tales dovetail with myths,
No, but
and wishes
Oh,
give birth
well, that
to
would have been much more
legends
interesting.
grand. Knights and
also Don
dragons,
Quixote, apparently.
or wistful love. Within this book, all ambitions bloom. But be warned, my fickle friend.
See?
A dark abyss
Anime
awaits us
titties. We did it.
all. For blood-pricked roses
A
wishes
lot of
Some
anime
evil anime.
titties.
But fear not to bite life's fruit, for in this land, courage is key. With bated breath,
Did I just
the
get
door
licked by a
sweeps
key?
open. Glory-bound or purged
Nobody
in flame.
knows.
The hand you choose defines your fate. So I ask you, is this really just a game?
Yep, it's a game.
I mean, we can snark about it, but it's a better presentation than most of the actual presentations so far.
Thank
That's
you,
true.
Sci Games, and thank you, Crip. As you know, technology is an extremely important component to games, especially with the ever-increasing power of hardware and with new demands coming from VR.
I don't even think Gwen
Here
is
to talk a little
awake
bit
right
about
now,
tech in
Flail.
games is the leader of the software development group at Intel. It's Doug Fisher. Doug, come on out.
Dog!
Oh, I like the
With
really
his signature
awkward camera guy
dubstep.
coming out in front.
I want to thank you, Doug, for coming out, and of course, thanks to Intel for sponsoring.
Oh, is this the
event.
guy
We
from
really
the? No,
appreciate
this
it.
isn't
It
the
means a
guy
lot
from
to us.
before.
And since Doug has a whole bunch of exciting stuff to say, I'm going to give the stage.
What is it with
to Doug.
Intel and having shirts that are eating people's necks?
Hey, good morning, everyone. I am very excited to be here.
What is this
And I'm very
untucked
excited to talk to the
nonsense?
Good
PC
morning,
gaming community
everyone.
about all the announcements
very
we
excited to
made
be here.
this morning from Intel. I'm a software guy. You're the gamers. All these announcements are very relevant
Wait,
to everything we do.
Intel has a
You know,
software guy.
2016 was an amazing year by all measures in gaming.
I mean, I
Look
guess
at the
they'd
number
have
of
to.
live streams in Twitch. Over 2 million new live streams. Over 300 million esports enthusiasts. And look at the growth in VR. 2017 is going to be even more amazing. And why? Because of you. It's because of you in this room, the PC gamers. It's because of you
2017
on
is
the
going to be
broadcast.
even better
You
because
are
there
the
are
ones that
PC
bring
gamers in the
innovation
PC
that we
gaming
create.
show now.
You drive us to innovate. You were on the edge of technology all the time with you. You have that instinct.
I do like
on
how
what
the
new
colors
capabilities
switched
are
back
that
to
we
the
need to
Intel
deliver.
blue.
And then you have this amazing, inclusive, and
Sort of
social
a Pavlovian
environment.
color code for people
Young,
that they can
old,
fall asleep.
male, female, tech,
People in the
non-tech.
chat are going like, "You
Millions
already
of
did
people
this,
getting
Intel." I
together,
think they'd like to
inspiring
forget
each
that they
other
did this
to
morning.
immerse themselves in this environment. Now, it starts at Intel with amazing hardware technology. We've talked about the launch we had 2 weeks ago of our X series platforms. Now, you gaming enthusiasts will love the Core i7X. Overclocking capability.
Are
It's
they
an
actually going to
amazing
talk
system.
more about hardware
And you
on the PC
megatasters
gaming
who wanna
show than they
game,
did in their own
create,
press conference?
stream, will love the beast of them all, the Core i9 Extreme Edition, an amazing system for this environment. Now, as a software person, I love this environment. I love this hardware.
As a
Because
software
why?
person, I really
It
love
gives
this
software
hardware.
people less time waiting, more time
It
creating.
gives software
creating that
people
amazing
less time
content.
waiting.
I work with over 1 million gaming developers to ensure
That's
they take
very
full
nearly
advantage
almost one
of
complete
all that
English
That
innovation
is
on
a
our
sentence
platform.
structure
I was
there.
working on the caching algorithms or the high-density graphics or multi-core. It doesn't matter. All the different areas, the best-known methods. We
Have
ensure
I said
these
enough
millions of
buzzwords yet?
developers are
Can I
making
please
the
get off the
most out of
stage?
that platform, delivering the best content. Then we work to market that so that all the gamers out here, the billions of
Then we work to
gamers
market that,
know
as
the
I am
new
doing right
compelling
now.
content that's available.
I'm saying the word gamers a lot.
What-
Just so you know who I'm talking
What is
for.
he? What just
And
happened?
this is just an example of some of the titles we
I've
work with.
got
I'm sure you
slides.
recognize
Look
them.
at my PowerPoint.
These are just a few examples, whether it's Halo Wars 2 or Overwatch, or in the VR space, where it's Arizona Sunshine or The Unspoken. We're working with all these content providers to ensure they take full advantage
Arizona
of all those new
Sunshine or the
capabilities.
Unspoken. Let's not mention the
How many
one
people have
VR
heard of
game that people
Destiny?
are actually interested in.
Yeah.
I couldn't be more excited to tell you that we work with Bungie and Activision
You know, I
to
believe
bring
it.
Destiny 2
He
to the
cannot
PC.
be more excited.
That yes, we're bringing it to the PC.
Are you
yes,
going to give
bring
us
it
a
up.
release date on Destiny 2 on the PC, maybe?
That experience is
You know,
absolutely
I actually
amazing.
like Destiny 2 on PC
And I can't
because it
think
means
of
I
a better
might be
person
able
to
to
talk
play
about
Destiny
how
2.
amazing that experience is.
Yes.
Than the full-time live Twitch streamer.
Oh
and
God, he
YouTube
is going to kick it over
broadcaster.
to a Twitch streamer.
Welcome on stage, Tefty Teft.
Who?
I have no idea.
Hey, Tefty.
Hey, Doug,
I
how
don't
you doing?
really
Good.
follow
Great to
Twitch
see you.
streamers,
Thank you. I'm
but
honored to be here.
So you really do live, eat, breathe, sleep, dream Destiny.
I do. I play a lot of Destiny.
that guy
I've got
beards
thousands
Destiny.
of hours,
That is a
hundreds
magnificent
of raids
beard.
completions. I've built my community around Destiny on Twitch, and I'm a co-host for one of the founding co-hosts of Destiny Community Podcast.
His
one of
face
the
is a
biggest
diamond
podcasts
shape.
specifically for Destiny. So I know a lot about Destiny, and I play a lot of it.
That's great. And so when you play it, have you experienced it on the PC yet?
I have, yeah. I got to play it at the event. I got to say, the PC experience is amazing. As
I gotta say,
as
it
somebody who's played
sucks.
a lot of hours in Destiny, everybody knows how is it going to transfer? How's the experience going to go from console to PC? Are they going to actually be able to deliver? And I can say
I would be
100%
significantly more convinced by this
sure
guy
that the
saying
PC
this if he
experience
was not
is
being
incredible.
paid to
When I
say
got play
this.
it, I was blown away. I popped Dawnblade, using mouse and keyboard, and rain and fire from above. It was amazing. You guys, if you're a fan of Destiny, you're going to love Destiny 2.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, is anybody out here going to be
But
able to
how
participate
about
in
if I'm
this?
not a fan
yeah,
of Destiny?
Absolutely, it's going to be on the.
Sell
it's
me
gonna be
on
the show
this.
floor. The other thing too is they've got tons of PC
It's
support as well
Destiny.
that's being added to it. So 4K is going to be beautiful looking.
It's
got 21:9
Destiny.
ratio, uncapped frame rates. I mean, for me personally,
It's
I'm going to be
Destefty.
looking at pushing 144 or higher for FPS because. Oh, it's going to be so nice. And yes, absolutely. On top of that,
Yes, hello, PCs are
Bungie
capable of
has
higher
told
frame
me
rates than
something
consoles,
specific
thank you.
That is exciting for the high CPU core count chips. They are optimizing the engine so it will take advantage of all the cores in your CPU. So if you do have an i9 Extreme, which hey, you know, maybe hook me up.
I have one now because you paid me.
If you have an i9 Extreme, it'll be able to take advantage of all those cores. That is that's great. As an enthusiast, PC enthusiast myself,
don't believe
I'm very
you.
excited about that potential for Destiny 2.
I don't
can't wait
believe
to run
you
it
at
out
all that
maxed
that
with as
they
many
will have an
frames as
engine
possible.
capable
Well,
of
fantastic. You guys all have a chance to take a look at it.
using
Maybe you and I can play later.
18
That'd be great.
cores
All right.
efficiently.
It's going to be on the E3 show floor. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Shefty.
Appreciate
All
it,
right.
Doug.
Big hand.
Can we cut to the
love
Devolver
that
reaction
experience.
shots? Yes, that would
Nothing
be
says it
great.
like that, right? All right. So it's not just about the top 8 list titles, but also it's about the broad set of developers we participate with. The independent developers.
I love
you can
that
see
guy
examples of
has a
properties that they've
button that
developed.
he
We wanna
uses
ensure
to
everybody's developing
progress
and
the
creating
fucking
content on the
slides.
PC to create more and more opportunity to
I mean,
participate in that.
that's how a lot of presentations.
inspiring
That's
these
not how you
developers through a
do press
contest called
conferences,
Level Up.
though. You
Take
have
a look at the
somebody up
sponsors.
there
We
waiting
took
for
Intel.
like
We got,
cues that will
Green Man
change the
Gaming,
slides
Epic, and
themselves.
Razer sponsoring
Listen,
this
that's
event.
entirely too
We have
professional.
real
Of course,
luminaries
they
judging,
completely
like
messed up
Tim
all their
Schafer.
cues on the
So
Intel
we-
stream
yes,
like
Tim
an hour
Schafer's gonna
ago.
be judging
So
this contest. The winner will be announced at PAX West in Seattle in September. I encourage you to participate. It's a great event. It's a great opportunity for independent developers to get involved and participate. And why do we care? As a software guy, why do we care? Because we want more and more content out there, more opportunities for games for others to participate. We want to discover the next big thing on the PC. We don't know where it's going to come from. So we want lots of people participating on our
But it's
platform
trolling all here.
so that the next big thing is built on top of the PC. And you, everybody here,
This
all
really
you
is
gamers,
a fucking PowerPoint
you can
presentation.
participate as well. I'm certain as you're participating in a game, you've thought
I
of something
feel like
unique
I'm
that you'd
in a
like to
work
bring
meeting now.
to reality. This is your opportunity to be one of those developers as well, or at least influence one of those developers. And
Yeah, but New
create
Dark
that
Cloud, they
immersive
had an Intel
experience.
conference
Whether you're a
an
gamer,
hour
content
ago.
creator, or even esports. Now, speaking of esports, we
It
had
ran
two
for 30
exciting
minutes.
announcements today in
Yeah,
the
that
esports
kerning is pretty
arena.
bad.
Pun intended. With ESL, the first being we have a landmark deal with ESL.
Yay, a pun!
Now a global technology provider for esports.
Crickets.
Oh my
It's
God.
great news for everybody in the gaming community because the latest
Please
technology
laugh.
we use for the events, for the studios, the back-end operations, and the streaming capabilities during the event, you'll have the latest technology at those events. Now, the thing I love about sports, and I'm a traditional sports admirer as well, is they have this tradition around these things called a Grand Slam, whether it's tennis, golf, rugby. They have a Grand Slam.
Or very
and there's no
specifically,
reason we
only
can't have
tennis.
that.
New Dark Cloud, the
in
Intel Power
esports,
Hour
and that's
was a
why we're
very
excited with Oculus,
bizarre
ESL, and Intel
25
are
minutes of
sponsoring the Grand
people
Slam
missing
event,
cues
Intel
and
Grand
like
Slam.
really awkward cuts.
And all these leagues getting
I felt
together.
like
And
the
first team
pre-show
win
had not
4 of the
ended, and
10
this was just more of
events
that.
Will be the Grand Slam winner. They'll collect their traditional prize, but
No
in
one else has a
addition, they'll
Grand
get
Slam Denny's. All right, you
another
know what? I'm going to Denny's
$1
now. I'm
million
hungry.
bonus for
See
being
you
the Grand
fuckers
Slam
later.
winner. $1 million. All right.
A Grand Slam is
Wow,
no-
he
a
sounded
whole bunch
so
of
enthusiastic
unrelated
about that
events.
$1 million.
About the announcement
$1
today
million.
around
Wow.
Echo Arena.
He sounded
Taking
like
this
Dr.
property
Evil in a rut.
And now are making it VR multiplayer. Do you
Oh,
guys
so this
see
is
that
the one
announcement
game
today?
that they
So
revealed
great.
that you
They're
missed.
creating the multiplayer VR experience and bringing it to life.
That was me
in this
talking to
platform.
New Dark Cloud in chat.
We're so excited about it
Somniorion.
at Intel, and we want so many people to start participating with it.
Somniorion.
We are sponsoring a deal in conjunction with Oculus to make this available with Oculus free of charge for limited time at launch. So all of you can play with this game free of charge starting July 20th. And you now can participate, learn, and become an expert.
Yeah, if only I
in
had an
VR
Oculus.
gaming.
Oh wait, no, I'm
Now
glad
I know
that I have
when you
a
become
Vive
an expert,
instead.
what do you want to do? You want to showcase those skills. Wouldn't it be awesome if you had an opportunity to showcase those skills?
No.
That's
It
why
wouldn't
we're
be awesome
super
at all.
excited to work
I'm
together
surprised
to
they're not
create
showing any
the
footage of this
VR
thing.
Challenge. With Intel, Oculus, and ESL, we're creating the VR Challenge. It's a virtual challenge in the VR arena. And everybody's going to compete
Or
in
the,
the end of
V
it's going to
arena,
be
This
in
sounds like it's going to
Poland
be
at the
a
Intel
really
Extreme
awkward
Masters, where the
experience for
finals will
everyone
be
involved.
in 2018. Book your
Are
tickets
they going to,
now. It's going
to
be a
sell
crazy
tickets to
event.
a VR
Now, I
like
know everybody likes a challenge.
stadium
Everybody's
where you
excited
can
about
watch
challenges.
these
said that.
I'm
people?
going to give you a challenge.
Is
all
that
day
how it's
today.
going to work?
Just participate in at Intel Gaming. Follow at Intel Gaming, and you'll have a chance by participating there to win one of 3 great prizes: one from Oculus, one from Asus, and one from iBuyPower. You'll have a chance to win one of
from
these prizes
what?
just by participating.
Do you want to maybe
in
take
this
another
challenge.
stab at that main
And don't
chan?
dismay, all those will have Core i7 in the systems. So it's a great opportunity to play, participate.
All those
and bring
will
up that
have
challenge.
Core i7.
So
this
the future
very
is
wide
here now. The future of gaming.
blanket
You can just feel it growing
term
and growing.
for higher
You see
end
the immersive
Intel
capabilities.
processors.
And why is that
Doesn't-
happening?
they're not even
Because
like
we have
committing
such
to, oh, they're all
amazing
going to be the
Intel
new
hardware.
ones.
As a software person, that helps me participate in creating amazing and compelling content and those new immersive experiences we all want to have. So the realm of possibilities are here now. An example of that is VR. So I'm stepping away now. I'm going to go up and look at.
I think this was
the
better
Echo
when
platform,
AMD was
Echo
sponsoring
Arena,
this
see how it
thing.
goes, and I'll be back in a minute. So Sean.
What the hell was that? Oh man, the camera's in the shot again.
Hey, camera friend.
Fire your
event.
your
Keep in mind,
booth
if you look
tech
at the
guy,
time, we're not
whatever.
even halfway done yet. We have all sorts of games still yet to be announced. So let's go ahead and look at what's to come.
You're watching the PC Gaming Show. Coming up, Brendan Green joins us to talk about the future of his smash hit, PlayerUnknown's
All right, I'm interested in that.
And a new game from Clay
We've seen
Entertainment.
this, right?
Yeah.
Back to you, Sean.
And the Clay game, yeah, that I want to see.
Should be this one. Time
Okay.
to take a look at an upcoming
There was no audio
game
there for a
up in
minute.
the
That's cool.
mezzanine with Sonya. How's it going, Sonya?
Thank you, Sean. So, as a Firefox, this is a game that pulls on my
God.
heartstrings and does not let go. And I just want to hear more about it. And luckily, I've got the perfect person to talk to today. I am joined by Felix Kramer on the game formerly known as Secret Legend. But you've got some special announcements. I saw some secretive tweets from the Dicey Twitter account.
You did.
Do you want to talk
definitely.
about that?
Well, you're exactly right. We were known as Secret Legend, but today we're announcing our new name, Tunic. So you can head to tunicgame.com to find out more about that. And we're announcing that we're pairing with
Glitch is in chat.
who you may know from their incredible work on Night in the Woods and Overland.
So exciting.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So I want to tell you, it wasn't just the fox that sold me on this game. I love the beautiful, charming graphics, and
game are we
honestly,
talking
I just want
about?
to see more of it. Can we check out the trailer?
I have no idea.
We should really do the trailer first, maybe.
There's a fox in it.
Okay, I kind of dig this art style. Is this just gonna be a Zelda game with a fox and a pretty cool isometric art style? Because I'd be okay with that.
Are they going to do a pun on voxels and fox? If not, why not?
There seems to be too much purple in the color palette, like almost like everything's slightly overexposed, which might just be like it looks like they're recording a monitor. Wow, that was a great transition cut there. Good going.
They had to wait until they heard the applause. It's like,
Now,
okay, I guess everybody heard it.
Our next title that we'll be talking about is honestly a huge surprise hit, having just surpassed 3 million sales. You may recognize it as one of the 3 most played and broadcasted games on Twitch right now. It's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and I'm literally next to PlayerUnknown right now. Brendan Green, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Okay.
We've already met him earlier.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey,
I gotta say,
Ninjustice
it's
back.
amazing to see the runaway success of your game.
I'm
What's it been like for you?
Oh, it's been immense. I mean, really, the reaction we've got from players and content.
You have not missed a whole lot.
I want to say thank you to everyone for that. It's been great.
That's cool.
Also, Destiny experiences both of the joy of winning.
I saw the
and
StarCraft guy a minute ago.
Well, I guess the joy of a bullet flying through my head out of nowhere, and I'll never know why.
You gotta learn to love the salt. Love it.
Well, I understand that even though a lot of people...
I'll
treat
always
the game
think of
almost
him
as
though
full
as the
release
guy
right
who
now,
went to the
it's
perfume
still
shop with
technically
Felicia
not
Day.
released yet, and there's a whole lot more to come. Talk to us a little bit about what's in store.
So we have, our focus at the moment is to sort of stabilize the game, get the servers up to spec, but also we have, 2D, 3D replays planned for in-game replays. We have new weapons coming every month. So yeah, no, but our current focus is really just get the game competitive and stable.
Hey, they're gonna add a vaulting animation. Yay!
Yeah. So our
That's
content
gonna get you
program
stuck in an
programs
animation
are
while
doing
people
a
shoot
really
at
great
you.
job getting this system to be dynamic. So it doesn't matter what object you're in front of, you'll jump or vault over it.
Yeah, so in terms of jumping and vaulting, is it... yeah, vaulting. Is it sort of, when you say that it's dynamic, does this mean that the taller the obstacle...
Are we just
going to
be watching a guy flipping
exactly.
over
And
stuff?
there's different animations for each
No,
different
we're watching
thing.
a
So
girl
vaulting
flip
is
over
one of the
stuff.
stuff. Now we also have weather. So
One of my favorite aspects, of course, is the rain map in the game. Walk me through what we're seeing here.
So this is our new weather settings. This is fog. You just saw clear day.
Oh, cool.
Our
You're going to
rain
add
has
more
been
weather.
tweaked a little bit
That's
as well.
interesting.
And we also have our
Are people
sunset
going to
coming
turn
in,
down the graphics
this
so it doesn't
really,
happen?
I'm really happy with how this turned out.
That's beautiful.
They've been pretty good about like not
what
letting you
is the
turn
impact
off a
on
lot of
gameplay
important
of
stuff
these
by turning down
types
your
of things with
graphics.
It's just changed dynamic. Oh, so this is...
Oh, a new gun.
Yes. This is the OTS
Yeah, you just
Groza.
lower, like,
it's a
textures and
7.62
that's it.
bullpup. Super powerful, crate only. Yeah, it's going to be a beast.
Is it a short range, long range? Where's
medium
its utility?
to medium, short to medium, it's going to be a beast. It's going to be super powerful.
Keep
And
adding
then
new
long range, it'll work as well.
SMGs.
And I remember before you came on the show, I asked, why did you put that gun in? And I think your answer was...
It just looks cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it's like we wanted to add a bullpup and we wanted to add something else to the 7.62 class. And this is a Spetsnaz weapon. Yeah, it just looks great.
It looks cool. As good as a reason as any, honestly. I want to come back to the weather effects. Obviously, they look beautiful. What are some of the impacts that you've seen on the gameplay with the new weather effects?
Well, it's just going to change the way you play. So it's not necessarily going to be, you're going to be sniping all the time. You know, with the foggy weather, you're going to have to choose a more kind of CVQ type play style. But it's just, again, to give you a bit of variety.
Well, you can just keep sniping.
You've
Yeah,
talked a little bit about what we've seen in the video.
I am not
Talking
convinced
about
that making it
long-term,
very
what's
foggy
far
is
down
going
the
to
line for player
remove
unknown
the sniping
battlegrounds?
game.
So again, we want to finish out the platform and make it a good platform for all kind of game modes. You know, we will have modding down the line as well. Yeah, and it's again, it's just creating a stable platform. That's our aim here.
It just seems
I
like a
understand it's
game
also
geared
working on
towards
new maps.
snipers. Like, I don't think there's any getting away from that.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing with like Arma-style games and games that try to replicate,
with sandstorms and stuff.
recreate reality.
And then this other one in the Adriatic.
in a
so
more
it
sim
has
fashion.
Real life has a
cosmic
slant
quality
towards
to the map
snipers.
with,
Yeah.
like snowfall, and I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know that you've been super involved with the community of regular players. What's in store for those people playing the game right now?
So as I said, we have our custom games. We have the 3D replays, which I'm really excited about because it allows you to watch your match back in the engine with a free cam and slow motion and stuff
Which
like
is
that.
great for content creators.
Exactly, right? So you can
Content
just...
creators, yeah.
Yeah, and it
That
it
is
just
pretty
give you
cool,
a new way
actually.
to create
Yeah.
like machinimas and stuff like that within the game.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to bring up, because you were mentioning this a lot before you came on, you have all sorts of stability and performance fixes incoming.
Yeah, so like our focus this month is on our server performance and really getting that stable because at the moment the servers aren't performing the best they could. But you know, so last month our team's focus was on
Captain
killing
Glitch
performance
asks
and
who saw this game and was like, I want mods.
Server, so
Why
they've
does
already
every
found
game
a
have
lot
to
of
have
things
mods?
to fix, and I'm excited.
That's great. I'm sure players will completely stop blaming anything on the game at that point.
Right.
They will accept responsibility for those losses then.
I'm also not sure, but it's still good that they have.
I'm mostly just doing this to annoy Glitch for not being
Thank
in
you, everyone.
voice right now.
As we
Yeah,
get
Glitch.
ourselves set up for the next game, we're going to head to the mezzanine with Sonya for a little bit of a giveaway.
I agree with
Well,
Seth.
I think
Sean
wanting
plays
mod
a bomb
pretty
with
cool,
Randy
right?
Savage.
But you know what's a little bit
I think
cooler?
wanting mod support
A
in this
free
game makes
PC.
sense because
We're
the
gonna be
game
giving away
came from a
a
mod in
badass
the first
PC
place.
from our friends at
Yeah.
Intel. This bad boy is going to be rocking
Make a
an
battle
i7
royale version
7700K
of
processor.
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
There's a lot of sevens in there, and it's going to be running a NVIDIA GTX 1080. It is worth more than $2,500. So if you want a chance to win, head over to PCGamingShow.com/giveaway and put in your information. Good luck, and back to you, Sean.
Now, how many
Thank
times
you,
have they
Sonya.
said game on?
And I am pretty cool, right?
None in this one.
Well, you missed
Jesus,
the section
thanks,
where
audience.
the software guy talked about hardware for the gamers, which is for the gamers who like the game because
I didn't
they're gamers.
realize you could pinpoint the exact
Oh, no, I was there
time
for
and
the
date a
Intel
career
one.
died. But
Was there another
he was
one?
back.
in store for you.
He
Our
came
next
back
guest you may
during the
recognize
PC
from
gaming part.
gaming show.
Yeah.
Talk about hardware,
Oh, no.
because he's a software
For
guy.
20
Games
minutes.
to talk about, and I'm joined by creative director Bill Monk. Pleasure to have you, Bill.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Good to have you back.
Are they still,
As always.
All right.
what was it,
You
fueling
guys have been
the
busy.
esports?
Congratulations
Is that
on
what they
the
said?
recent release of Rising
I
Storm
don't know if
2.
they use those words
Powering
exactly.
esports, something like.
Realism FPS. We just
I
released it a few
forget
weeks
what
ago,
it
and
was
the
like
fan
something
reaction's
the
been really
esports
positive.
like fueling
Really happy
or
about
powering.
that. I want
or-
to thank everyone who was part of the beta phases.
Gamer.
That helped shape the game in a real positive
What
way.
is this?
And be sure to check out the Trello boards, see what we're up to, and we're actually already really busy working on some new
It's
content.
gun
Stay
shoots the
tuned.
war
That's
game.
amazing. I mean, I know so many
Okay.
people know you from Killing Floor 2, but especially this year, there's so much to talk about. I mean,
Yep.
last year you announced Killing Floor Incursion, the VR Killing Floor. How's that been going?
Oh, that's been going awesome.
Studio name. Where?
Incursion's one of the,
what is this?
Did they say VR
game-
killing
or second
floor?
wave
That
games,
sounds
Come
awful.
out for VR, and we've learned a lot. And we're really,
It's
really
apparently
excited.
out.
We think we have one
It
of the
exists.
best products that's going to come out later
Why?
this year. It's scary as hell.
I didn't realize they had a
If I could answer
single
it.
player and
VR
co-op,
version of
and,
Killing Floor.
We're really excited to
I
release
should mess
it.
around with that.
So stay tuned on that.
That's awesome.
Are they gonna make
Now,
a
the big thing I know you wanted
Left
to talk
for
about
VR?
today was a little bit of content
Left
coming
VR
down the
Dead
line
is what they'd
for
call
your
it.
big
No, that would
game
require
Left
Valve
V
to
Dead
do
R.
something.
a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when we released Killing Floor 1, one of the things that really put us on the map was our time seasonal events.
Right.
And when we released Killing Floor 2, people were always clamoring and asking, well, when are you guys going to do that for Killing Floor 2?
Reasonable enough.
Well, we're super happy to announce the Summer Sideshow.
I mean, I don't
coming
know. You
out
could
this year.
make a multiplayer co-op
I'm
zombie
eager to
shooter
show
in
everyone
VR,
this
but it would
footage.
be
This trailer makes me laugh every
significantly
time. Let's go
slower
ahead and
paced
take a
than
look.
Killing Floor.
Killing Floor 2's Summer Sideshow.
Oh, they're doing a summer event, but they haven't done winter events for the past like 3 years. What the hell?
Well, they just announced that they're going to do it from now on.
And I generally I honestly forget his name, StarCraft 2 guy. I think he's a pretty swell dude, but the degree to which he's trying to play up, I'm being a business dude and talking to these guys about important
This has
things.
been a problem they've had since the first one of these.
I don't know. I'm gonna. Okay. Disclosure: I don't watch E3 usually for precisely reasons like that, but I'm getting very much a Jeff Cayley vibe from him.
Hughie the Clown and the Monkey Man. Why does the monkey have a chainsaw? Find romance in the tunnel of love. Swing on the
Everybody's typing exclamation mark giveaway in the Twitch chat, so I did too.
Scream on Pound
I think that means they're gonna give me something.
See the death-defying fire stunts of Dr. Infernum's pyrotechnic emporium! Is he actually on fire? Why is that person on fire? Earn new achievements and triumph a new HC-12 shotgun and
Have they finished adding classes to Killing Floor now? Like, it came out as a full release. Like, it was in early access for forever.
cleanup crew need hazmat suits! No, I'm done!
Like, did they finally have all the classes in? Because back when I was playing it, they had like 4.
That's the sort of thing I figured you would know.
It has 10 classes now?
PC Gaming Show.
Theme, but there's some great humor in this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, seasonal events are definitely the most fun to work on. I mean, it's just... We can just go crazy and go goofy. We got
great
clowns,
humor, guys.
You got
great
the monkey
clowns.
that bangs the cymbal with a chainsaw instead.
Midgets on stilts, bearded ladies. We got it all.
Tell me a little bit about what is the gameplay? What's some of the stuff that people can experience in the Summer Sideshow?
So it's a limited time event. It's only going
Right.
to last for 1 month. So all this crazy stuff you're seeing here, it's 1 month.
Yeah.
And there's over 50 cosmetic items that people can gain from playing it totally free. All the Zeds have been replaced. All the voices have been redone. We also have mini games that are thrown out throughout the
Yeah,
map.
I saw the carnival games right at the start of the trailer.
Yep. We've also got 2 new weapons that we're introducing. And we also have this other mode that we're really excited about. It's the weekly outbreak.
Yeah, I saw the
mode.
weekly outbreak at the end of the trailer. What's the weekly outbreak about?
So each week, new gameplay mode comes out with new challenges for the player. We have one. It's starting out with Cranium Cracker, and that's a headshot only mode. And
so
then
no
we have
damage unless it's headshot.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have another one called Tiny Terror, where every time you shoot a Zed, they actually shrink. They become like little midget Zeds, which is really crazy. And whenever the players get hit, they shrink too.
Oh, really?
So, I mean, that's just 2 of them. We have 8 total, and it's over 2 months worth of content. And if they're really hard to beat, but if you beat it, you get really cool, precious items and stuff like that.
So, of course, I have to ask, when can people play it?
Actually, you can play it tomorrow. And it's free on Steam all week.
Easy.
Yep. So you got no excuse not to try it.
I guess now would be a decent time to get back into Killing Floor 2.
Oh, well, they can play here too.
Oh, boy, that was a setup on my part.
I think I own it.
Yeah,
Not that that was a particularly compelling event trailer.
PC Gamer Show.
But
oh, that's right. It's at the PC Gaming Show booth. We have our own.
It
booth
might
here
just
today.
have been aimed for us.
I'm glad that 2 of
All
you
you
are
need
very
is an
excited
excuse
hear
to
that.
play it,
The first of many, right? This is going to become a tradition.
Indubitably.
Yeah.
I'm not in charge of the budget, so yes, of course. Well, I want to say, Bill, thank you so much for coming out. Congrats
Absolutely,
on all the projects and the progress. Bill Monk from Tripwire
Thanks, Ben.
Interactive.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Did he say grats on all
Let's
the
head back up
projects?
to the mezzanine for a little bit of social with Sonya.
This year's PC Gaming Show is being broadcast on more platforms than ever before. We are on Steam, we are on Facebook and Twitch and Mixer. We are
doing
all
the
over the
Mixer
place. This
thing.
is awesome. And guys, if you are on Mixer,
that's the way she
you gotta
said,
sweet
on
talk
more
them,
platforms
sweet talk
than
them on
ever
a little bit. Be kind
before.
of nice to them because they're going to be giving away games throughout the
Is
entire
that the reason
show.
Steam has been so bad on my
Unfortunately,
end?
no
Or is
free
that
games for
just
day 9.
Steam?
Sorry. Back to you, Sean.
I think that's just normal for you.
I'll happily buy them. Yay, video games! Now, if any of you got the chance to see the conferences leading up to
Yay,
today,
video
there's a lot of
games!
exciting stuff going on. In particular,
Yay, I'm
Microsoft
getting
has
paid
got
for
a whole
this.
slew of games people are pumped for, including
This is
some that are
embarrassing.
going to be at this show, starting with the first ever incarnation of Forza Motorsport coming straight to PC. It's Forza Motorsport 7. Joining me to talk about it is the creative director of Forza Motorsport from Turn
This is the
10,
one-
Bill
Day
DC.
9, that's his
Come
name.
here,
Thank you,
Bill.
Jimmy
I said that
DC99.
earlier.
How's it going?
Yeah,
Well,
Bill,
I don't
She said
believe
that.
you, Josh.
The announcement
The
yesterday
lady
must have been
said
really
that.
exciting for you guys.
Huge announcements.
Well, I don't
We
listen to
revealed
her
a car
either.
To the world.
Not an in-game car, a
No,
car.
an actual car.
So this is the one that's coming out
normally saved for car shows like
on the
Geneva
Xbox
and
One
Paris.
X as well.
We
This is the one we
revealed
saw
a
yesterday,
car
right?
here at E3, the Porsche 911 GT.
Why are they
This
still
guy
talking about
just
that
woke
fucking
up.
car?
You know, I've gotten the chance to play the previous.
It
Forza
wasn't even a
Motorsport
very
games, and
good
it always struck
car.
me as a racing game, not focused
It was
on
like
being
an
That guy-
okay car.
or strapping guns.
That
to
guy
a car.
really
It's
looks like
about
he just woke up.
hyper-realistic racing.
Forza Motorsport is
I
about
feel like I
precision,
just
it's
woke
That
about
up.
guy
competition,
looks like
and we've rebuilt
Jeremy
Forza
Renner,
Motorsport
but
7
then
from
like
the ground up
Yeah.
to really recreate that feeling of driving.
But
a
still
car.
Like a
close
paler.
enough to Jeremy
Cars,
Renner,
over
so you
700
can be happy
cars.
with that.
Every
With
single one of them.
beady-eyed,
Just like,
a paler
get a
and
better
somewhat
printer.
rounder
What are some
Jeremy
of the
Renner.
things that you've
Yeah.
done to bring that experience to PC?
Who has to talk about
Going
cars
to
at a
PC has
gaming
been awesome.
conference?
Not only will it have mouse and keyboard support, but with multi-USB,
Why would you
we
want to
have
drive
every
a
fan
car with
requested
mouse and
wheel on the
keyboard
market.
in a
And it's been
car
exciting for the
game?
team.
That's a lot of USB
It's a lot of
devices.
wheels, let me tell you. And we've been testing that. Last week alone, we brought in any
So who
USB
exactly
device
is
we
the
had,
target audience of
and
this
we played
conference?
on
Asked
Guitar
Loud
Hero
Look. That's a
guitar
good
and
question.
A DDR pad. Now you're not going to do
Well,
that.
he said
I think the-
hyper-realistic
how
racing,
real
so
racing
I
works.
think
The
it's
target-
for
The target
whatever you have.
I
in
think the
your
target
car-
audience of this
E3 in
this
general, the
thing
target of this
is
Now, what
specific
about
thing.
for low-end
people
PCs?
who
Obviously, a lot of
Intel
people
can
who are on
market
budget
to.
Devices. I mean, what about for them? What's the
Well, it's
optimization been
it's
like?
tech
It's been great. Going to the high end of
fetishists.
4K, unlock frame rate, 21
It's
by 9.
people
We've
who want
also
to
lowered
see
our min spec
the
as well
most
to 2.95.
realistic
No matter
everything
where you
ever.
go,
I don't
it
think
with
that's
the
really
best
true
Speaking
though.
of
graphics.
I think
great,
they'd like to
if you're at
imagine
E3
that's
and I
the
understand you
target
have some
audience.
out-of-control rigs
I think
that
the
people
target
can
audience
actually
is
play the
actually
games on.
people who are willing to
Absolutely.
put up
Come
with
by the
this.
show. We've got 2 hydraulic rigs.
Well, yeah, I mean,
in 4K.
target
it's
audience
the
is
target
everyone
audience
who's
they
getting
want,
Yeah.
not the
Yeah,
target
bring the
audience they
vomit
get.
back. And come on, check it out. It looks awesome.
Well, awesome. Bill, thanks so much
Thank
for sharing
you.
with us.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
I'm incredibly excited of all the stuff Microsoft's doing.
He
You just
looks
got the chance to
incredibly
look at
excited.
You're
Forza,
not
and
incredibly
now
excited,
coming onto
my
the
dude.
stage, I am replacing Bill.
I'm
with Ted Timmons, who's the
incredibly
PC
excited. I'm
design
sorry,
Replacing
if I
Bill with
hosted an
Ted.
E3
Sea of
like
Thieves. Come
live
on
stream
out,
commentary, I would just be making fun of everything everyone
sure.
says.
Ted
Oh, they're
Timmons,
talking about Sea of Thieves.
welcome. It's a pleasure. So Ted,
Wow, this
talk
looks
to me a little
like
bit about what is
John
Sea of
Carmack
Yeah, so we feel like we've made the
hybridized
pirate game
with
we've always
Seth
wanted. When you
Green.
think
What
about
is
sailing
this?
around the open seas, you and your crew of crewmates.
Jimmy DC99
basically
hit
it's
the
part
nail
of
on the
game.
head. Target audience is Intel
What are some
shareholders
of the things
assistants.
that you're showcasing here at E3 in the game?
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
for
yeah,
anyone who
no,
didn't see the briefing yesterday,
on
we
the
showed off great new features
Loading
like
Ready
rubber
Run
map
News
storms and
Network,
firing
or
yourself
whatever
out of
it's
cannons.
called, where Graham Stark pretends to be a news
A common
anchor.
pirate pastime.
Yeah, pretty
He
nice.
a couple of years ago he made a
Now,
really
I had to
good
ask the same question
argument
to
that like
Forza
E3
Motorsport. What are
exists
some of the
more
things, some of the
for
features that you
shareholders and
added in
investors than
to
it does
focus on the
for
PC
like
experience?
Yeah, so we've got things things
It's
like
always
4K,
kind of been that
unlocked
way.
frame rates, everything you expect. But we
Yeah,
also brought
I very much agree with that, and that's why I feel like the whole like everybody live tweeting about E3 being like, oh my god, did you see the newest thing? It's like, you know, if they want to announce a new game, they can just tell us.
So
They don't
tell
need
me a little
E3 to
bit
do
more
that.
about the PC version. Obviously, it's probably a challenge to try to develop for 2 different devices at once.
Yeah, so we decided to change our approach to the game. We're actually building both versions in parallel because we
It
felt
was
that's how
Checkpoint,
we
that's right,
deliver the same
Spirit Bay,
game on the
thank
same
you.
day.
So it's not a port from one device to the
So
other.
I'm sure
Correct,
Glitch
yeah,
is
we
going
felt it really
to
important just
pull
to
me into playing
build them
this
together
game.
from the very beginning.
Just one single code.
Which
one
is
single
fine
code
because it
base.
looks pretty
Awesome.
interesting.
Well, I know a whole lot of people here are curious to get their chance to play it. Is there an
I'm a little
official release
skeptical about
date
the
or a
combat
opportunity for them to
still.
play it?
Yeah, so we're coming to both
At
platforms
least
in early
the
2018,
hand-to-hand
but right now
combat
we have a
stuff,
technical
not
alpha.
necessarily
You're
the
welcome to
ship
come sign
combat.
up. We have thousands of PC players playing already, so yeah, come join us, seaofthieves.com.
Once
Well,
again,
we don't
Ted
really know
Timmons
anything
Thank you
about
very
from
much.
Rare. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
It's all bull trailer.
Seaofthieves.com. Now, this next title is one I'm
that
personally very,
it?
very excited about, given the fact that when I took one look at the trailer,
SeaOfThieves.com.
grabbed me.
All right,
It's the
anyway, we're going to
evolution
talk
of
about something
Cyberpunk,
else.
A game called The Last Night. Here to talk about it is the creative director.
Oh no,
at
not The
Odd
Last
Tales.
Night.
Join me in welcoming.
Oh my
Tim
god, the
Soray.
subtitle person put night as like K-N-I-G-H-T.
Welcome. Thanks for coming out. Let's
Hey,
ask
look,
the
it's an
obvious
asshole.
question. What is The Last
Not The
Night?
Last Night.
The
Don't
Last
do
Night is
it.
what we call a cinematic platformer, which means it's not a game like Mario where you have to jump from platform to platform.
Yeah.
But, you know,
They're
it's
gonna
more
make it a
story-driven. It's
platformer?
more reminiscent of old classics like Another
Yeah, it's
World,
like
Flashback,
a
Oddworld.
side-scrolling
Oddworld, I was going
cyberpunk
to say, it
game.
reminded me quite a bit about it. And I saw
We're gonna
that you
get
guys
Sea
had
Thieves,
the big
Josh.
announcement reveal at Microsoft
Oh, hello,
yesterday.
Glitch.
Josh,
Hi
you're
there.
gonna
That
get Sea
trailer
of
was such a
Thieves.
hit,
Yes.
it blew up. What was that like for you guys?
Yeah, we are
Sea of
obviously super
Thieves,
happy
we're getting
with
it.
the trailer
Okay.
reception. It's been absolutely incredible.
Is this? Did they
Now,
just
of
say
course,
last night
there's
is going to
some
be a
concerns
platformer?
I want to
Yes.
address.
Yeah, it's a
Ah.
side-scrolling
Tweets I made in
cyberpunk
the
game
past.
because it's indie.
Yeah, but I
They-
want.
we-
apologize for those.
See,
there's
we
nothing
already
about
got.
today or what the last night will be about.
Well, let's talk about what the game
I was
is.
just
Also, it's
gonna
made
say,
by
we
an
all-
asshole,
The
so
setting of
that
The
is
Last
gonna.
Night.
So
Super
maybe we should
important
explain
design
what the hell's
of
going
game.
on with that.
Tell me, where are we right now?
I want you to imagine a
The
world where
What makes me
guy-
angry is
Passive
that
as
we
an
already
everything,
got
you know, it's not only
an
physically, but
indie
also
cyberpunk
intellectually,
pixel art
emotionally,
side
even
scroller
creatively.
about how
So in a
feminism
sense,
is evil.
like any
And,
job
and
you
it was
could possibly
kickstarted,
imagine,
and you can
an
play
AI
it right
does
now
that.
on Steam.
Absolutely.
I highly
Including
recommend
being
you
a
do
host
not
for a
do
PC
so.
gaming show.
I mean,
because I did.
I
and it
don't
was
know
a
if
bad
we
idea.
can
Well,
say.
imagine- thank
I don't know
you.
if we can
This
say
one
that's what this
person
game
who
is
was also
going to be
excited
about.
the booth.
He's
Now, he
already
pretty
said
much can
things
because he
on
said it.
Twitter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's
said
talked on
something to
Twitter
that
about
effect.
how
To all the inhabitants.
this game is going to explore what if the modern
the
feminists
way I can-
abolish gender.
Like, what is it like to be a person?
What
What?
if
It's like,
progressive
oh,
people
fuck.
get their
You know,
universal
yeah.
basic
What-
income and
wait,
total
what
equality?
happened
And
to-
what if that's bad?
The only thing you can redo is
What
to
happened to
consume
making
energy,
games
right?
that are fun?
So,
I
what you're
miss
trying to
those
say
days.
this
Can we
game
have
is
those
how
days
do you
back,
balance
please?
it?
The
Cyberpunk.
fuck?
You know,
It's
when you don't
it's
have
it's
anything to create,
cyberpunk,
it's
and
destroyed.
cyberpunk
Yeah, and
is
I
about
can
the
see,
oppressed
obviously there's
underclass.
the
And as we
futuristic
know,
lighting
in
and
our
the
modern
visuals, but there's also
society,
sort of drag
white
and
men
dreary
are the
tone.
real
This art
oppressed
style is
underclass.
amazing.
real
I mean,
oppressed
all of
underclass
these
is
assets are in
gamers.
2D, but it has so many modern effects. How did you even think of this?
So it all comes down to my background in VF.
I think the real oppressed underclass, it's a small one.
You know,
It's a small one. It's me, and the oppression is that I don't have more money, and that people haven't given me more money. This guy gets free money for nonsense. I want money. Somebody give me money.
I mean, Jimmy DC has the right of it. This game looks really good until the developer opens
Yeah,
his
so the
mouth.
character will get to play.
Well, no,
as a
the
young,
art style,
That's what
specifically like the art
Yeah,
style.
it looks
is
really
important.
good.
Because of a childhood accident.
So
cannot
is
enjoy the
is
same
it being
gamified
made by a
mental
team?
health
Because
that
maybe there's
people
hope.
get
Maybe
to
that guy's
so-
just full of shit, and
Because of that,
there's hope.
you
I think it's a small
Yeah.
team if there is a team.
And
I
also
imagine
like
they've
an
got to have
impact
some
and
team
meaning.
to pull off
Yeah,
this kind of
absolutely.
like
So on
level
his
of
way to do
detail
that,
with
he's going
pixel
to
art.
meet some questionable characters you have to trust or not.
I'm just so annoyed that
gameplay.
can't
One of the
games
things
just
that
be
I'm a
fun?
player really
You remember when Monaco came out? I liked that game. It didn't say anything.
Monaco was fucking great.
Yeah, it didn't say anything. It was just a fun game. I miss fun.
I'm not against games saying things, but
I'm not either, but not every game has to. And I'm tired of games coming out that are like trying to make this big message or whatever, and then just not being fun because of it. I just want.
I think in Cyberpunk in particular, like Cyberpunk is a very historically political genre, but I'm concerned about like impressionable kids watching E3 playing this game and being like, yeah, feminists are trying to ruin the world.
So that means that, you know,
everyone who disagrees with me is trying to
Well, it's a good thing
right?
that
That's
they
how it
could
works.
play Minecraft instead and never be exposed to that sort of message.
You also mentioned that the structure of the game is in one night after the other. What's that like?
Yeah, so the game is structured around several nights.
I cannot get over
spans
how
several
good
nights, and
this
they are all
game
interconnected,
looks.
which means that what
It
you
does
do
look
for
fantastic.
the very first night, and what you do also is remember.
So if I'm just
Well,
in a
I mean,
conversation,
again,
just
remember,
walk
this
away
is
in the
only
middle of
3
it,
trailer.
Yeah, they will remember it.
Yeah.
Remember, like 2 days later,
But
they'll
this
have
looks
a
like
game.
it.
a pinch of salt.
That's fine. That does add a
But
huge
you
amount
can
of
make a game that
replayability
looks
since
like
the world
this.
is just changing based
Yeah,
upon
we're
your
taking a lot
inputs.
of pleasure.
Like that's
to
entirely.
write
I mean,
a lot of
it
stuff
won't
into the
look
city, and
as
we hope
like
the community
crisp
will have
as
fun to
this,
figure
but
out and get that
I mean,
out.
I was playing an
Connectivity.
indie game made by a very
Again,
small
I
team
love
called.
the art style. I love these story-driven adventure games. Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you, Sean.
I streamed
Looking
it.
forward to it.
Kingdom.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Kingdom has a
Yeah,
similar
yeah.
sort of like
Yeah, that's true.
Once again, that's
very like simple
oddtales.net
pixel art, but with
for
sort
more
of modern
information
effects
about
and
The
stuff. It
Last
looks
Night.
really nice.
Now, this
You can
next
absolutely
game
do a game like that.
surprised
Nobody's
me, I'm
trying
sure
to do
it
a
will surprise
cyberpunk
you
game like
because of
that
its
right now.
style. It's
And
from
that's
the
why it's
makers
sad
of
that
Arma,
this
the
one
realistic
looks
military
amazing and
simulator,
is
and
about
DayZ, the zombie survival game.
the feminist
This one
overlords
has a much more playful
turning our
tone.
world into
Let's
a
look at the next
cyberpunk
title from
dystopia.
Bohemia Interactive.
I really wanted to, because like everyone was freaking out about it because he was kind of, you know, awful on Twitter, and I was like, I was really like, oh, but we can't attribute that to the game, but literally the game is about that. That's crazy.
Like the Steam description is
Yeah,
pretty
I'm
clear
not
about
really
it.
hoping. There was a game called Iranus. That's the game I was talking about, and that game is like listening to a batshit conspiracy theorist just babble for several hours. That's what that game is.
And you learn how to craft.
But getting
It
back
is,
on
like,
the
the
topic
most
of games that do
bizarre
look
thing ever.
interesting.
And
I mean,
because
this
it's
is
your
survival,
land,
so I don't know if it's very interesting.
won't take
but
long
it has
to
Yeah,
some
build
I
that
mean, like
place.
I don't see, like I'm not seeing stuff here that jumps out at me as, hey, that looks cool and different.
But that's just the beginning, because here,
At all different.
you can do anything.
Listen, I'm just trying to inject a little positivity into this.
The biggest problem I have with survival games, actually, all of them, is that like anything with like a big thing where you build stuff, like Minecraft, the forest, whatever, is that at some level you run into this problem of like you're alone, and like you kind of want to set up a world that starts to work a bit more dwarf fortressy, and you've got other people here, and you're like the mayor of the town instead of just some dude with a giant castle alone. And that's almost never an option.
Islands. Explore your creativity.
Even when it's
Visit us at
multiplayer,
islands.com.
like it that doesn't solve the problem. Like Minecraft
Right.
still has that problem. If you and I were to play Minecraft, we could make a big castle, and you wouldn't be alone. It would be the two of us, and we would be alone. You know?
It's Alice Ulm. Welcome, Alice. It's a pleasure to have
Yeah,
you.
I would
Thanks
love
for
to
joining
see
us
a survival game like that that
Games
branches out into a bigger world, and you know, you make this small base at first, and then you make this cool castle, and you're like, you're the king of this castle, and then it kind of opens up to a bigger world where you're like, shit, there's a lot of other castles out there, and they're all vying for this power, and that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
But it does seem to stop. Like the progression in these games, much like the innovation in them, just kind of stops at a certain point. It's like it's survival and you craft.
Yeah,
build
you
houses and
get
that's
like
you're done.
a million fucking resources, and then you're set for life, and you build something cool, and then it's like, well, I guess there's nothing more to do.
Yeah, we get
Yep.
this a lot, but actually beneath the surface there are still the core values that make up a Bohemia game.
Yeah.
It's still about exploration and finding out
What
how
else does
things
Bohemia
work,
do?
about creativity and imagination. And just like Arma or DayZ, we're trying to create a platform to
Oh my
connect
God,
Oh,
players
right,
with each
yeah, these
other
are the
when
DayZ
they play
guys.
online or when they create something new and share it with the community.
And I know that modding is a legendary part of
Yes.
Bohemia's history. What are some of the lessons that you've learned from Arma?
It's really
learned from
weird to have the
DayZ,
Arma and DayZ
brought to
guys doing
modding
this.
in Islands?
Well, we have our own editor.
Well,
It's-
you
it's
can't really
not a
say that they were
standalone
necessarily the
application,
most
it's a
creative.
part of the
Like
game.
I
Oh,
didn't
really?
find
I
those
mean, I
games to be
assumed that it
very
was just
creative and
outside
innovative.
like
So
all other editors.
this doesn't
Now,
surprise me
we
at
would like
all.
I mean,
players to
DayZ was a
be,
big deal
able to
in the beginning.
prototype their creations really quickly.
But that wasn't
And so
like
in
a
editor,
new
the players
idea
can
that they
obviously
did.
create something
It
new,
was
but
it
they
was
can
just
also
the first
decide
time that
to,
people really picked up on a
open
game
and
like that.
modify existing games.
I
ones
feel
that
like
we
there was some
created
new
or
stuff
ones
in
that,
DayZ.
other
Certainly new
players made
ways of
for
doing
them.
it in a way that
Yeah, I mean, we
like,
got the chance to
made
see
it so
some
people jumped
scenarios in the
in
initial trailer.
in a
Like,
way that
those
they
are the
didn't
ones
for
that
other
you're
Right,
games.
yeah.
Yep.
Does that
I
guy
guess, but
have a mushroom on his head?
I mean, tell me a little bit about what it is that we're seeing
Yep.
right here.
Is that
on
a salty
screen.
mushroom?
like
Well, this is
there's
just,
stuff
some
that looks
random
interesting in this
multiplayer
game, but again, I can't stop thinking
there
about the
are,
fact that it's
two
just going to be
guys.
another
Initially there
pointless
were
survival
three. I
game with
think
no
one just, like, fell
overarching
down the bridge.
goals
They were
past yes, I want to collect a
They
billion
are
things
trying
and be
to
the king
get,
of my tiny
some
little
kind of
world.
treasure, and
the only
exclusives.
I mean,
the
I
only
wanna ask
survival
about-
games
I
that
know
I
you
like
guys are here at E3.
are Don't Starve and more recently
Hey,
Kingdom,
look, it's the
because
treasure.
those games
I know you guys are here at E3.
survival
What are some of the things
stays
that players
being
can get
the
their hands
thing
on at the
because
start?
it becomes
Yeah. Well,
more
we'll be
and
showing,
more like
some of the
difficult to
games that
survive
we
over time.
created with
And I
the
think part of why those
Islands
games
game
work is
editor,
that they don't do
but at the same
multiplayer
time,
the
we'll be
way
showing
that like
how
Daisy
they
and
can,
Minecraft and
use
stuff
the
do.
editor
You
to
can't just
create
have
those
a
games.
server.
That's awesome. And I mean, I know
that doesn't
there's
work.
a way for people to play
Which
right
version
now.
of
Is that right?
Kingdoms did
Yeah,
you play?
actually,
Did you
they
play
can
New
only
Lands
play the
or
alpha version of the game.
I'm playing
which
New
is
Lands, yeah,
available as
that's
a
the
part
one.
of our
I
Bohemia
kind of feel like the
incubator
original
program.
nailed it better because
They
the
can
original there
find
was a
more
way to
information on our
finish the
website,
original. You
islands.com.
either lost or
And later this year we are coming
managed to destroy
There
all the portals.
apparently
and
is a
lands.
New Lands as well. You just have to get to the last island,
Yeah,
from what I've heard.
New Lands is kind of like
I
a
haven't
keep
reached that yet.
So I'm gonna
restarting
say, Alice,
thing.
thank you so much for coming out to
Thanks
talk
for
about
having us.
islands.
Yeah,
It's
but there are
fun.
5 islands, so
And
it
of
is
course-
finite. Like, you do eventually reach the end. from
Yeah.
what understand.
I
haven't
just
gotten
want
that far yet.
all I
hope you're
want
as
is
excited
multiplayer
as
Dwarf
I am
Fortress,
to come
right?
up with
Except
some
so
total
like Dwarf
nonsense
Fortress
when I
is
sit
you
down
are
and
one
play.
guy who runs this
Yeah.
like
Next
group
world
of people.
exclusive is
But
gonna be up
but
in the
this is how you make it
Messenger
multiplayer. I'm anybody out there making games. I'm giving
Thank
you the perfect game
Sean.
design
I am
here.
so
You make it so
honored
that
to be a
everyone has
part
different
of this
roles
world
in the town. You
exclusive
know, like
reveal
there's
from
a
developers
mayor,
Play.
but who
You
manages
might
the
recognize the
garrison?
name
Well,
from
you could
games
have
like
2
Don't
different people
Starve
doing
or
different
Don't
things
Starve
in the
Together
town,
for
which you
mobile
could
games
make, and you
myself.
could like have
And last
instruct
year at
your
the
people to
PC
build,
gaming
and it could
show,
be
they
this really
actually revealed
interesting
their
like
sci-fi
you
colony
and your
sim
friends
game,
build a kingdom,
Oxygen
and it
Not
has to
Included.
both be
And this
strategic,
year
but
they
also
are
like you
back.
could make it look
And they
cool.
are back
And
with
then
a
you know
bang.
you have all
And
the
I
problems
am
that you could
so
face in Dwarf Fortress,
excited to
along with
reveal
some
our
new ones.
upcoming
And
sci-fi RPG game.
well,
It
sure,
is called
but
Griffland.
it's branching off of the idea, the core concept.
It would be like approaching
new Clay
town
game.
management.
Shut the hell
Oh
up.
my god. Best game company ever. But no, it would be like approaching
Shut the hell up.
I dig this
town
art style
management.
already.
Jarenth, I'm having a conversation.
I concur. I want to hear what JPH has to say.
Well, I was just
Well, you
gonna
can do
say
that
it's like
after this
approaching. Okay, Jarenth. I'm a bigger Clay fan than you, and you're yelling at me about this.
Apparently not.
Oh, I super dig
Oh,
the
this is,
perspective here. It's just like Darkest Dungeon sci-fi exploration.
Hopefully it's good then. Because I didn't love Darkest Dungeon.
It's Clay, so it's gonna be fantastic.
Did they also do Darkest Dungeon?
Oh, they changed the name for it.
Who did Darkest Dungeon?
Did it have another name?
Yes, they had a 20-second long teaser for a Clay game a while back set in space actually, and it was well, okay, maybe it's just a completely different game. But it was called it was like more oxygen needed or something like that. Like I'll have to look this up.
Oxygen.
But it looked. Yeah.
I think that's a different game.
Have you here?
Probably. I was just
Now,
expecting that to be the next Clay game that
I've
we
gotten a
because
chance to
Clay
play Low
has
Echo, but a lot of
until
people
now
here
not
maybe
been
haven't
working
seen
on
it or
2
heard of
games
it.
at
Just
once,
walk us
except
through
for the
what is the
fucking
game.
So the game
Eats remake,
Low
which
Echo is a
nobody
single
cares about.
player experience in VR.
Darkest
where you
Dungeon
play
was
But it's
a
like they
on a mining
Hook
station in the
Studios,
rings
by
of
the way,
Saturn.
Glitch.
And that was a
basically
Kickstarter
I love
game.
the
That had nothing to do with
I
Clay.
love the atmosphere of that game. The gameplay, however, was not great after you play it for more than a couple hours, and that game takes a fucking long time.
Well, it got worse as time went on because it started out in early access.
So amazing for me.
Well, what happened was, and this is a testament to how early access can be a kiss of death for your game. Is basically like every game that's not a competitive game will have players complaining that it's too easy. It's like it doesn't matter how fucking hard you make your game, there will be people that complain it's too easy because once they get good enough to beat it, they'll beat it consistently and they want to be challenged again.
Well, also they have
Darkest Dungeon
way more time than I have apparently.
Navigate using your hands.
So like people complain that it's like once you know how to game the system in Darkest Dungeon, you'll win consistently, and it's like, oh, it's supposed to be this really punishing game. So the devs ended up making it more and more and more punishing until it's like you have to do everything perfectly and get really lucky. Or
What
else you'll
is
just
this
play
game
it
that they're
over
showing
and over.
now?
Another thing that we get the chance to talk about is
That
the
was
multiplayer
really
component to
frustrating
Lone Echo
about
called
that
Echo
game.
Arena
Also,
Rue.
the fact
How
that
does
it
this
was
game
like,
Basically, it's
once
a
you
futuristic
like
VR
they didn't
sport
add
where you
challenge to
play
it. What
about
they
10
did is
people
they
playing
made
teams
it
and teams
take
to get
longer
a
because you
distance
could
inside each other's goals.
consistently like the
Now,
RNG
you
would
might be a
wipe your
little bit
guys, and then you'd have to
confused
build
as
up
to
new
how
guys,
exactly
and
that
then
works.
finally you get like
worry.
60 hours into the
We're
game
gonna
and you
take
beat
an
it.
even
Not
closer look
not
at
with
what the
anything
gameplay
that
is
you
like
you
for
haven't
Echo
had to
Arena.
change your strategy at all at that point, because the game just becomes a grind fest essentially until you can beat these
Yeah.
bosses and then get to the end.
Yeah, it becomes
Here's that Rocket League VR
So like
game.
before
Fly faster.
when the game, oh yeah, but it's like when the game came out in early access, the corpse mechanic wasn't a thing.
What were you saying like a couple minutes ago,
Hit harder.
Justin?
Stakes get higher.
We were talking about the
And
Dwarf
victory.
Fortress idea kind of concept.
Oh. I was gonna say your idea for
sweeter.
Dwarf Fortress in multiplayer kind of sounds like applying the idea of a town
This
management
is
sim
0G.
with the same way as like Artemis did it with ship management.
In
Oh,
the
yeah.
Echo Arena.
You just like have a series of roles and you assign people to roles, and
Right.
together you
That's-
run this.
That sounds incredibly fun to me, and it gives more of a direction than Minecraft, which is like you could have different roles. Like sure, some guy could go out and gather resources while another guy is staying at the base, and some guy's gathering food or whatever.
Look, it's Infinite
But
Warfare
like,
again.
that doesn't actually
We
add
are up
anything.
here with
I don't
Echo
think.
Arena in action
Yeah,
as
Lone
some of the Ready
Echo
at Dawn
is-
developers
That's not
are playing
fun.
against
Also
each other.
has a
So,
like
Doug,
single
welcome
player
back. Hello.
campaign
It's awesome
about
to
being
have
in
you. But listen,
space.
before
What?
we get into VR, I really wanted you to tell me a little bit more about the Grand Slam event.
Yeah, I'm
No,
very
that was
Oh my
just
God.
great.
It's like
Guy with the
Intel
Intel
introduced
introduced
it
it
as
as
an
an esports.
Rugby, they have their Grand Slam. Now we have it at esports.
You have to
Is
know
this gonna
why
be
they're
the
playing
next,
space
and
football.
DreamHack, we now have our Grand Slam, which is really exciting.
That's awesome. That's exciting. So I'd like to know a little
I like
bit
the
more
idea
about
that he has
Intel's
no
involvement
idea
with
he's
this
on
game.
camera either.
You know, we've been involved working closely with the best VR developers for a long time, and I'm excited to work with Ready at Dawn. as they're
I'll
delivering
make
the
it
next
flail. Just you
second
wait. Give
generation
me
VR
5
game.
years and I'll make
They've
that
been an
game.
ideal partner to enhance
Incidentally,
that
the schedule
experience,
says this
the
thing only
scale
goes on
of
for another
most
like 10
performance
minutes,
CPUs
so
like the
it's
i7
not going to be 4
and
hours.
i9.
I'll back you on
That's
the
amazing.
Kickstarter.
So
Don't worry.
I was really excited to hear about your announcement earlier.
Yeah,
You know,
Ready at
potentially
Dawn,
if
Intel,
if my
Oculus,
dreams
we
come true
announced
and I start
that
an indie
Intel is
studio, I won't
sponsoring a
need
free
a
release
Kickstarter
of Echo
with
Arena
the
to
plans
all
I
Oculus
have.
Rift users when it launches on July
That's
20th
you
for
know
limited
if
time.
everything goes very well
And
for me.
This is because we want as many users as possible on this system. We want to ensure that everyone,
doesn't sound
including
ominous
these
at all.
guys behind us, the gamers
You're
behind
gonna
us,
be an
is a
indie
single
dev that
Glitch is
doesn't
going to
try and
take over
experience
the
Kickstarter
world.
game?
VR
That
esports.
sounds like bullshit.
So speaking of esports,
Yeah,
I would
well,
really
yeah,
love to hear
I'm gonna
more
work
about
hard
Intel's
and make
involvement
real
with
money
esports.
so that I can
Intel
fund it
has a
myself.
long history as a
That'd be
leader in
crazy
Tyrannus was a
concept.
Kickstarter game,
Companies like
and that was the
ESL
dev's
for the
excuse
Intel
for
Extreme
why
Masters.
Vivian James
We're
shows
excited
up
about
in it.
Echo Arena and the growth of VR esports. And that's why we're expanding
Let's
our
talk
partnership
about
with
that
ESL
some more.
and Oculus to launch the VR Challenge League. It kicks off in July, and it features Echo Arena and the Unspoken. And it
I'm-
gives
like, I'm
esports
surprised
enthusiasts
Pyre hasn't
the
shown up
opportunity
here
to
at all.
compete in VR at key upcoming events.
Yeah, people in
with
chat
the
were
finals
asking about it,
happening
too.
in Poland in 2018 at the Intel Extreme Masters.
Okay, well that sounds kind of awesome. Well, thank you, Doug. I cannot wait to play this game. It's going to be coming out July
Thank you, Doug.
20th,
This game
and you
doesn't
can
sound
pre-order
awesome
it
at all.
right
wait to
now,
play
and
this
Rift
game.
owners
I
can
can
actually try
wait
the open
forever.
beta on June 23rd. So back to you, Sean.
Thank you,
Sean.
Doug. We have
Greg
limited
Kasavin,
screen time.
damn it.
To play Lone Echo, and I want to stress, you just have to play it. The single-player experience is especially mind-blowing. So once
I
again,
don't
that's
really,
Lone Echo.
actually.
Pyre
Our
is
next
the new
guest
game
announced the game
from
2 years ago
Supergiant
under the
Games.
title Project Blue Streak, and we now know it as LawBreakers.
I'm looking forward to Pyre.
Here to
I
talk
don't know
about
anything
not just
about
gameplay,
it,
but
except
cold,
that it's from
hard dates
Supergiant
as the
Games.
CEO of Boss
And
Game
as far as I'm
Productions
concerned,
himself,
they're 2 for
Cliff
2. So.
Blazinski, welcome to the stage.
What? They managed to get Cliffy B for this?
Now, Cliff, I know that you guys in the past past have been doing a lot of alphas and betas. How have
He's
those
still
been
a
going?
person?
They've been going well. The alpha, it was all right, and then the first beta was good. The second beta
I
was great.
love all
we're
of these
doing our
names you
final
guys are
closed
throwing
beta
out, like of
June
studios
28th.
and
If you have a
people.
key,
I
check
don't
it
know
out
a
on Steam,
single one of
download
them.
The latest update. And then we're
You're
doing
all
a
like,
Rise
oh,
of
it's
event,
this guy. I'm
which is a
like,
full open
oh,
beta.
oh
Cliff
yeah.
Hop online, play the game, let
Cliff
us know what you
Blazinski
think.
was the guy who
And
made
I gotta ask
Unreal
what it has
Tournament
been
Gears
like
of War that
to
year,
have
and
people
then
play the game,
left
give
Epic
feedback in
Games,
those
so
early
we all
really
kind of
young.
forgot about
shaped
him.
the experience.
Well, a lot
He
of
also
the
really
developers
hates being
and
called Cliffy B.
publishers, they do these kind of bullshit marketing betas where they're like,
Yes.
oh, it's our beta, and the game.
I feel like at some point he's got to accept it.
Case, you're not going to be able to fix anything. So for our
I mean,
game,
he's
we found
got to be
that
in
the
like his
long-range
40s
shotgun
or
was way
maybe
too spammy,
50s.
overcharged.
He
wasn't
looks
good.
younger
We
than
leveled
that,
up
though.
a little bit, and we sped up the characters. We
He
took
looks
actual
younger than
feedback
that.
and we
I
integrated
wouldn't
it
imagine this
into
is the
the
guy
game.
who
And
made
these are
Unreal
more than just
Tournament.
balance
Incidentally,
things. I
chat
imagine
says,
speeding up the
Glitch
pace
is
of
such a
things
fake
creates
gamer
a pretty
guy.
different balance dynamic across the board.
Yeah, I mean,
You
you
know
change
it.
one thing,
I'm
it's the
such a
butterfly
fake
effect,
gamer.
It affects everything else.
Oh, wait,
and
fake
is the game
gamer
going to
guy.
be balanced
But you're a
on
fake
launch?
gamer guy,
No,
too.
that's why we need people's feedback. Play
I mean, I never
played
claimed.
two build for it.
Underpowered.
That's basically
Yeah, I
being
never-
a dad before being a dad.
And I know that it can't
I
be
never
beta
claimed to know
forever,
any of
so
these
Cliff,
things,
tell us
or
when
be a
it's
geek
out.
or anything, but I do make video
audience,
games,
go.
so shrug.
Do a thing.
So the game
You
is
make
finally
video games, you
dropping
just don't
on
play
August
them.
8th on
Yeah,
PC.
I make
turns
food,
out
but I'm
people who
not
make
cooked.
things don't have time to play things.
$29.99.
I make food,
None
I
of that
just don't eat it.
$60 multiplayer only bullshit.
Yes, you do. That's total bullshit. You're a fake food person thing.
And if you didn't see it
Fake
online, Cliff took a bow. Yes, $29.99.
Great.
Well, if you haven't gotten the chance to
I'm
see
glad
the
we
game
had
and
to
follow
revisit
throughout the
that
recent PC gaming
because you
shows,
cut
let's
to
take
something
a look at
else.
some people who got the opportunity to play LawBreakers, and we'll have them speak for themselves.
Yeah, I don't begrudge taking a loan. I might actually do that in the future if my current plan doesn't work out. I just have been given an opportunity to possibly break into a market that is undertapped.
Literally
Which will
from
hopefully
every angle. I
was
shaking
make
after
money.
the matches ended.
It was
like a high.
That's what I'm working on right now.
Games that I've ever played. Are you ready for another one? I'm like, I just need a minute, man. I'm shaking. I'm shaking over here.
I don't remember seeing anything about this before.
I think the thing people are going to find in this game,
I feel like it's
the
been
most
out there
enjoyable
for a
is
year or
simply
two,
how
but I don't
difficult
remember
it is.
anything
There's
about
a
it.
pretty
Looks
impressive
pretty
skill
generic,
gap.
so.
You can't just sit down and dominate within an hour or two.
Practical skill
I saw a
required,
commercial for it, I'm pretty
precision
sure.
aiming, the ridiculously fast movement.
Mechanically, it requires a lot of aim, a lot of vision and game sense. It's a twitch shooter. It's how a twitch shooter should be.
The action's going to press you, and if you don't keep on top of it, you're just going to get blown off the map.
I think team comp is definitely a huge thing for this game.
As we're flying around in zero gravity, you know, it's kind of a new situation for us. How do you keep up with your tank and protect
This is one
them,
where you're
peel
supposed to
them,
use
also
gravity
protect
and
your healer
stuff,
and peel off
right?
them, while DPS is still
I don't
being
actually have the
effective.
sound on
It
for any of this.
It gets crazy very
vertical,
quickly.
horizontal.
The gravity is the biggest thing because that adds so much
I think that's
verticality
an
and
interesting
finding
concept,
some
but-
characters
It's been
where
just
some
in
characters
development for
teleports and
ages.
some characters have dashes. This
I
gets
think it's
really
coming
wild
out
and
soon because
insane.
I've been
Now,
seeing
literally
commercials
anywhere
for
you
it.
look
So it's not out yet, I don't
potentially
think.
an attack point. I am literally
Yeah, Red
under
Sun
the
says
map,
so many gun games.
saving
I'm in the
myself
same
from a
point. Like,
grappling hook,
I enjoyed
flipping
Overwatch, but
myself
I'm,
into the air, shooting at
you know, maybe
anyone
I'm just not enough of a first-person shooter fan. But I'm kind of like,
People are going to fly you with jetpacks.
I
they're
don't
gonna
need
fly
any more
you
first-person shooters
double
for a while.
swords, you're going to have
I
someone that
played
could
way
just
too many
shoot
hours
up
of
in the
Overwatch,
sky,
and now I
all
can
of a
just
sudden now
take
you
a
have to
break.
worry about getting up there.
I mean, this doesn't look
Some
bad.
abilities that I just
but-
haven't seen before.
Medic role is actually phenomenal.
It was battle medic, they call it. So it's not one of those medics where you have to sit back. It's not even a thankless role anymore because I'm out there slaying, killing
What
with the
game
rest
is
of my
this
team
again?
while keeping them alive.
LawBreakers.
LawBreakers?
Jump into zero G, that's great. Getting like through the map.
Like how
fast
unconfidently
is
Josh and I
ridiculously
said
fun.
that.
I've been using the vanguard to
Maybe?
drift off the side, so I've been coming up behind the enemy. It took
It's
like
another
3-4
Overwatch
rounds
map.
before they caught on.
With the
I know
gunslinger,
Well, this
is
how
more
they're
like a
precision
high
characters, so
mobility
just like
shooter.
spinning around
Yeah,
and popping
something
someone
more
in the head.
tight.
Oh yeah,
before,
like
it feels
Fight
great.
Pass,
The
something
game
like that.
Is just aggressive all the time.
And this game gives you so much variety of motion.
I never felt more tested.
It makes you think in a completely different way.
The fastest speed I've ever seen in my life. Crazy when you're playing it.
Just as a reminder, that Ballin' Intel PC is still up for grabs. Don't miss out if you forgot.
Oh,
This
right,
bad
they're
boy
doing
is
a
running an
giveaway.
i7 7700K processors, a lot of 7s in there, and an NVIDIA GTX 1080. It's worth more than $2,500. You do not want to miss out. Head over to PCGamingShow.com/giveaway and put in your information. I think it could run Crysis at max settings. What do you think, Sean?
Courtney, to answer your question,
I
why is
think
there
it
shooter,
can,
Euro shooters
Sonya,
now?
and I also
That's just the
think
mood
that
of
it
the
can
years.
run our
Like
next
that's how video
title.
games do.
I am a master
One
of
big one comes
transition.
out, and then a whole lot of copycats.
Our next game
Yeah, no,
is
it's the
from
same thing with
Chucklefish,
movies.
the wonderful folks who helped bring you Stardew Valley.
I think there is is something to be said about
Let's take a look at their upcoming game,
hero
Wargroove.
shooters mechanics being something that's easily accessible too. Like it's really easy for a new player to jump into a game with 20 characters and kind of
Yeah, it
learn
looks Fire
those
Emblem
characters,
Hey,
as
Chucklefish,
opposed
they
to
were the-
trying to figure out what
Yeah,
equipment
from-
in
they're
Call of
from,
Duty you want to equip with.
Stardew Valley. But this is Advance War, but Advance.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned Stardew Valley. I was gonna say Starbound actually. I think they published both of them. So they're one of them indie publishers now. Like Clay.
Ooh, cool. Fire Emblem, but with ships? I can get behind that idea.
It's more.
Well, yeah, it
Advance
looks
Wars.
very much like medieval Advance Wars, yeah.
It does seem to have like some character hero stuff going on.
Also, did Advance Wars.
To some degree, but Advance Wars is definitely more about the just units. To explain Glitch, Advance War was kind of like a turn-based version of an RTS, where like you have your buildings that produce units, and you send the units out to battle, but it's a very turn-based strategy.
This also looks a lot like...
It's basically this, but with tanks and soldiers and barracks.
This looks a lot like Age of Empires, Age of Kings.
It even has the capture mechanic. It is just literally Advance Wars.
It was a turn-based thing that came out for the DS based on Age of Empires 2. It was actually pretty cool that, like, but nobody remembers it, nobody played it, so I feel like I'm the only person who knows what that game is.
Wargroove. Today, we're not just going to get a chance to talk about the game, but we will be seeing
Like,
the
this looks
editor
super cool,
in action, a live demo
and I
on
like
stage.
it.
I'm joined by Jay Bayless and Doris.
But it is very much a carbon copy of Advance Wars. Like, just acknowledge that and move on.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say right
They're
away,
gonna do a live gameplay
gameplay
show
reminded me
here for
quite
us.
a bit of Fire Emblem and Advance Wars.
Yeah, Fire Emblem and Advance Wars are definitely kind of inspirations of ours, you know. Wargroove is
Tuck in
a
your
turn-based
shirt.
tactical strategy game. It's a game about starting
I
and
had to
build
be
up
the
your
old man of
resources
the-
every
of the
mission
show.
and push forward into your enemy territory.
Keep
and just kind
looking
of
the
dominate
person you're
map and make
talking
the
to
right
in
choices.
the eyes.
But yeah, we've got a lot of unique kind of gameplay
Exude
mechanics.
some
We've got
confidence. Can't have
that.
Modern age. We've got online play.
I mean, the guy is wearing a very plain, button-up shirt, untucked. He doesn't look like the most confident person in the world.
Tell us what it is we're looking at.
So what we're looking at today is
This is a
the
computer
Warhammer
monitor.
Wargroove, and this is our campaign editor.
This,
So these are the tools we use in-house
you
to create
can
Wargroove
see
campaigns,
there's things
and
that
we
go
show
on
you
on the
with game so
screen.
players can
I dig
create
the
their
art
own
style.
scenarios. So I've been placing down map
It's a
markers,
cool map editor
and each
too.
of those represent a mission, and then you link them together to create the path through your campaign.
And I know that one of the things you wanted to talk about was the branching.
Oh, this is still the
Yeah,
editor.
so
All
you
right.
can have branching path, obviously, and the cool thing with that is every branch can have conditions. So, for example, let's say you get a high score in a mission, and that could lead you through a harder path in your campaign.
Or you could have a secret
at the
path
bottom.
that triggers based on some event in the mission.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's hop into one of the missions and get that one started. And Jay, walk me through what it is we're
Yeah.
taking a look at.
So yeah, this is
I didn't notice,
a
but
map
they're also
editor. This
captured
is
the
like
taskbar
straight
here.
drawing tiles straight into the battle screen. You know, it's really simple to use, really understandable immediately. You can just kind of draw those tiles straight in there and drop in the full range of units. Doris is dropping in a commander right now.
What are the commander units about? Talk to me about that.
So the commanders are kind of integral to the strategy of Wargroove. You have this unit that kind of represents like the king and queen in chess at the same time. They have unique abilities and act as your avatar in battle, and they're really powerful, so you can kind of push forward really heavily with them. But there's a lot of
The
risk
king and
reward
queen
there
in
as well,
chess at the
because if
same
you
time.
actually
That's a very
lose that
fancy
unit,
way
then
of
you actually
saying
lose the
it's a
game.
hero unit.
Oh, that's what you mean by the king comparison. It's
Absolutely,
both
yeah.
your power unit and
It's
the
like
queen,
it's the
but in
king
lost
because it's the
conditions
important one,
Yeah.
and it's the
other tools
queen
include
because
you
it's
can
more
drop down
powerful than
buildings
the
right
others.
now.
You're
You can drop in
describing
some
the like hero
HQs,
unit.
Those are kind of like your base of operations, and to take the opponent's HQ is to win the match.
Yeah.
But on top of like kind of
You know, it's really driving me crazy that the water they set up there is almost symmetrical, but not completely.
Assign like a scripted encounter or sequence to that.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I
Yeah, they need to, at the bottom of that water, they need to put a little more water so that it doesn't look
Just
so
iron
flat.
out that corner.
Yeah.
And then it's got a little thing sticking out on the left side. And it's like the mountains don't bug me because they weren't trying to make it symmetrical. The trees, whatever, but the water is almost symmetrical. It's like the uncanny valley.
So
of
it's very
symmetry.
simple, like as simple as sharing the map actually. So you can just share your map, and if you want more content, just
So
go
what's the
online and
purpose of
download
the map editor,
and
though?
Everything you just want.
Absolutely, you can edit maps.
And there it is. So let me actually
To make
take
your
a step
own
over to this
campaign
timer
with
here.
your OCs.
It has been 3 minutes, and we have gotten a chance to
Like
design
I
a campaign
definitely
map,
did not
end
do
a
with
mission,
StarCraft when I
and
was a
get it
kid.
playable. That is incredibly fast. Jay,
Josh and
Doris,
I
wanna
used
thank
to,
you
I'm
both
going
so
to talk
much
about
for
Star
coming
Wars
out to
Rebellion
talk about
again,
this
but
game
Josh and
today.
Josh used to
Cheers,
play
guys,
Star Wars
and
Rebellion And I used to make up my own headcanon. I would sit next to him and be his co-commander. And stuff like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, I would be his communications officer, and I'd tell him what was going on. And he
Is
would
that
get
it?
pissed at me, but I'd keep doing it. It was fun.
Is that literally the end?
We can make maps.
Anyway, we just made a map. That was it. Thank you for watching.
That was the entire PC game. Wow.
The next game that we
Okay, all right.
There
That
is.
would have been funny.
sequel to Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. It's Middle-earth:
Yeah,
Shadow
Shadow
of
of
War.
Australia.
Yay.
Officially announced release date,
Middle-earth,
guys. It's
more
October
shadows.
10th. Here to talk to me about it is Michael DePlater, the Vice President of Creative at Monolith. What is up, Michael?
Hey, thank you very much. Thanks for the chair.
Hell yeah! Well,
I would
the
love it
chairs
if
are
this
nice,
next
red and
game
all that
doesn't have the
grueling
Nemesis
standard.
system.
And it gives us to do one of the
They-
most
they have
rewarding
something
things
like-
for gaming.
So I'm gonna
If
have
possible.
some bad news for you.
Well, no, I mean that's obviously a
Now,
good thing that they still
you've
have the
heard about the
Nemesis
October
system, but it would have been
10th release
hilarious
date.
if
What
it's
are some
like
of
the
things
one
that
thing
have
people
been
liked it
changing
for
and building
that made it
upon,
anything but just
Shadow of
hollow
Mordor in
Arkham
terms of
clone.
Shadow of War?
I think what we've tried really hard to do.
So far, what we've
seems
seen
pretty
is
obvious,
that they
take the
took
things that were good
everything
that
that
worked in
made
the
the
so
first game
combat
interesting and
the
liked.
Nemesis system and this
Then
world
didn't
that
really
we
understand
created,
why people
and
liked
to
it and
build
just
on
put
that,
more of it
but
in.
also to take the lessons we
Are you
learned
like
in the
taking over
first
orcs?
game and really
There's many
improve
more
those,
types
so
of orcs you can take on.
really make this into a truly epic fantasy that's kind of up there with if you go and see Return of the King or Lord of the Rings, and really focusing on the story and the characters as well.
Did he say
And you've
Return
been
of the King
talking
or Lord
all
of the
throughout
Rings?
about how important story is in Shadow of War. What does that mean in terms of the work that you're doing?
It means paying off the epic.
Do you think
scale,
they'll ever
so
make a
having
Lord of the
these
Rings game that actually
titanic
captures the
battles,
themes of the
it
book,
means the
or is
stakes
that
of the
just
story,
being
so
thrown out the
we're
window
facing
because
iconic
that's hard to
The
make
battles
gameplay
themes of
for?
Lord of the
and
Rings is
Sauron
that
and
power
Witch King and
corrupts,
Nazgûl,
so
and it means having
video
these
games are all power
incredibly
fantasies, so
video
probably
games are
not
power
in this
fantasies.
era.
characters, so
Right.
allies and enemies that you're working with.
And in
Yeah, they'd
terms
have to
of
make a
E3,
really
what
like
are the types of
subversive game
things
in order to
that
make
you're
that
showcasing
work.
here that people can see?
Like a twang game.
But that's the game I want to play.
Two things. People
Well,
being
not
able to get
no,
their
I'm not
hands on the
thinking like
game
that,
and
Jared.
play
But
it.
a game
And
where
also that
like
we're going to
you
be
know,
giving
since
demos of the game,
games
but because
are
of the
almost
Nemesis
inherently
system,
power
every
fantasies,
single
you'd
demo
have
we
to
give,
do
we
something
have
with
no
almost
idea
like a
what's gonna
Spec
happen.
Ops The Line
We don't
type
know which
message,
orcs or which
where it's
characters
like
are gonna
fuck
turn
you
up,
for
which
wanting
stories are gonna
power.
happen. So every single time
Well, maybe
people
that'll
go and
happen
see the demo,
here
they're
when
gonna
you
see something
ride a
new, and so
fire-breathing
we.
orc up a tower.
And because of that, we really.
I mean, the closest I can
And you
think
get to the
of out
top
of
and you're
major
like,
games,
what have I done?
closest game I can think of to
demos.
trying
Yeah, of
to
course, you see all
convey
the
that
information
message
for how
like
to
out of a
watch
major
those
game would be
online
like
throughout
the
the entire
first
duration of
Dishonored, I
E3.
guess, with the
I
moral
know that
choice
in a moment
system,
we're going to
but
get
that
a
was
chance to delve a little bit more into those story
was
bits with a unique cinematic based on one of the characters that was in the trailer. Can you
Was still like
introduce her for us,
murder
El
was
Taro?
bad, not
Yeah,
like
so
don't get
she's one of the
powers.
new characters we're introducing into.
well,
the
it gave
world
you
and into our
powers,
story.
but it
El
like
Taro, she's
most of the
Blade
good, most of the
Galadriel. So
fun
she's
powers
essentially an
involved killing.
assassin
So it
that's
was
been
basically
sent
trying to
from
say,
Mordor
don't
to hunt
go
down
crazy with
Nazgûl and to
power.
hunt down
Like that was
anyone
basically the
corrupted by a ring
message,
of
and I
power.
don't
And
think
you
it did a
as
very
Talion
good job
running
at it,
around
but
Mordor
that's the
wielding a
closest
ring
I
of
can
power.
think
So
of.
there's
to,
It was a
tension
start.
in that relationship.
Yeah, it
with
was.
her, but
It was.
She's this awesome character, and as
What
well as
game
that,
has
she
everybody
gets her own
everybody
fully
been so
playable
excited, most
campaign
excited
in
for?
our first
Words? How do they
major
work?
story DLC as
That
well,
they've
which
seen
is
so
Blade
far.
Galadriel.
Mine is Sea of Thieves,
Well, before we
obviously,
hop
but a
into that, I just
weird
wanna say,
second
Michael,
is
thanks for
the new
coming on
Metro
to
game
talk
looked
about
really interesting to me.
Yeah, Metro
And I've never played
We
Metro
talked
games,
about how important story
so
is
that's
to
weird
Shadow
for
of
me to
War,
admit.
so let's
It's
take
like,
a little bit
oh,
of
maybe
a
I'll
look at
actually
2
play these
minutes of the
games.
cinematic
I'm irrationally
Ontario meeting
anticipating Assassin's Creed Origins.
Boo.
Oh my God! Somebody said, "What if we had Stardew Valley but in Hobbiton?" There you go, Lord of the Rings game. Boom. And at the very end of the game, Sharky shows up.
So it is true.
I still think it would probably capture the themes better than Shadow of Mordor. I think that's the name of this.
Listen, Shadow of
series, right?
Mordor is a. That's what it is. They have their OC
You cut
who's
out.
totally not
You
Aragorn.
said Shadow of Mordor is.
Oh,
That's what what it is.
Okay, I think when I'm pressing another button, it's making a fuck up. But anyway, Lord of the Rings, or no, A Shadow of Mordor is a Lord of the Rings dark fic. It's they have their OC who's totally not Aragorn, and they bring characters from Lord of the Rings
Wink.
into it. And it's edgy and dark, and he kills the super bad guy, and it has needless ties to the original story. And yeah, it's a dark fic. I could have seen myself writing it
Oh,
when
look,
I
a new
was 16.
OC is being introduced. She's super cool and she can see the elf
Great
girls.
threats make for unlikely alliances.
Flail's excited for the Dishonored DLC. That actually looked good, even though I've never played Dishonored games.
I'm super excited for the Dishonored DLC.
We crafted it to defeat Sauron, but it was lost.
Bannerlord.
Nazgul will be drawn to the
Yeah, I see Metro Uncharted in there. I'm really excited about that game. I don't know why.
Bannerlord would be on the list if it ever came out.
My light will protect us, but it will not leave my side.
Hey, we crafted a new ring to beat Sauron. Oh, we lost it. This NPC has it.
Was that what happened in the original
Yes, they are saying
game?
No, that's what happened right here in this trailer.
Getting called out for not paying attention, Josh.
Gee, I can't imagine why I'm not paying attention.
And I'm pleased to
I haven't
say
even
that
had the
Stays
sound
truer
on.
to the
since
Lord of the Rings
Evening.
themes than we thought.
It's
You
from
craft a
Microsoft,
ring
and not
of
even
power
allowed to say
and
the
are
name
immediately
yet.
punished for your hubris.
So joining me
And now
to
you have
talk
to
about
listen to the
said
whims of shit
unnamed
NPC
game
that you
is
hate.
the creative director for Microsoft Studios, Adam Eisgreen. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. Love being
Pleasure.
here.
Anyway, to answer
Now,
your
Adam, I
earlier question
understand that
about
you've
what
been in
game do
games
you
for a
look
long
forward to
time. I
most,
have.
my answer is no
I'm
game.
on my 25th
I'm
year
going to
making
forget
video
about all of
games,
these
so yes, you can
right
actually make a
immediately.
career out
You
of
forget
being
about
Solid
everything
answer.
minutes
and,
after it
you know, I got my start in
happens.
the
There was
DOS
the one.
days. Remember DOS?
There was the one that
yeah,
we
it's
talked
Time
about
Out
earlier
Assist
that's going to
today.
come out
So,
in
I got my
August.
start in the DOS days doing
That I don't remember what it is.
D&D
That one
games,
looked nice.
but I spent a heck of a lot of time.
I'm bummed out that
working
there
on
aren't more of
strategy
these games
I was
coming
at
out this
Westwood
year.
Studios for years.
For real
working
though,
on
the
Command
clay
and
game
Conquer
looks
series.
nice. Ooblets is going to be
Earth and
very
Beyond,
interesting.
a whole bunch of great
And
games
the
there.
war game that we just saw,
Petroglyph, Universe of War, Empire at War,
Wargroove,
so a lot of
is
history on PC.
at the very least Advance Wars enough to scratch
Well,
that
I
itch
understand
that
that this title is an homage to those roots, and I'm still not going to tell you what it is, but I know you're curious, so let's head right in to this world-exclusive trailer.
Dun, dun, dun.
World exclusive trailer. Wow.
What word do you think they've said the most? Do you think that they've said
Age
more than
Vampires.
exclusive? Because I think that
This is gonna be
exclusive
an
has
Age
come up
Is
the
this
most.
Rise 2?
Age of Empires.
Oh, Age of Empires.
One of history's most beloved.
Stainless Glass Simulator
StarCraft.
2018.
It's StarCraft.
They started yelling Wololo. Of course it's Age of Empires.
Age of Empires Definitive Edition? Oh,
And I love
man,
how
it's in
the-
4K!
Empires.
Brackets music was
Wow,
covering up.
that makes it look so much
Doesn't look very
worse
good.
because of how stiff all the animations are.
See, Nixter got it. Right out the gate. This doesn't actually look very good.
No.
They still have the same shitty
Oh, it's
path.
gonna come out on the Xbox, you guys. You know, I wasn't gonna buy a 4K TV, but now that I can play Age of Empires on it, I'm in.
The funny thing is they sold Age of Empires HD just a few years ago.
So is that gonna be 1 and 2, or just 1? Like, the Age of Empires
It
no one
better
remembers.
include 2. If it doesn't include 2, they're in trouble.
I think this looked like Age of Empires 2 more than 1.
Well, but it was using, like,
I mean,
the
well,
Age of
okay.
Empires
If-
1 factions. It was like Rome and Babylon and shit.
Age of Empires was the first
If
game I
if they
ever
don't
saved up
if
my
that doesn't
allowance to play
include
as a
2,
kid.
then 2 will
I'd
be
go
in
to
like
my
a
grandma's
later
garden all
release.
day.
It'll
She'd
be
give me
like when
$2
they were
and
like
I still
Baldur's
stayed
Gate
dedicated.
for
Tell me
iPads,
about Age
just
of
the first
Empires,
one.
man.
You know,
But then
nobody's
they
been
put
able
out
to
the
play
second
this
one
game
later.
Except if they found the CD-ROMs for the last 20 years.
And what's a CD-ROM?
I know, really. These day and age, like, who even has a drive?
What's a
You know, and this has
CD-ROM?
been such
You're so
a labor
funny,
of
Day
love
9.
for us at Microsoft
You're so funny and
our
charming.
development partner at Forgotten Empires.
I am
to
definitely
bring
going
back
to buy
Age
the
of
products that
Empires
you
in
are
such a
advertising.
wonderful definitive edition, so everyone can experience it.
I want to talk about all the stuff we saw in the trailer.
This
start to finish.
sounds
Talk to me
like a
about
lot
the
of work.
graphics. Those sprites are gorgeous.
While
We've
they could
redone
also
every
upload the
single
original
asset
game
in the
on
original
God
Age of Empires. Every
and be
animation,
done.
every tile set,
And people
every,
would still pay the
everything
same
that made
amount of
Age of
money
Empires great. We
There's
have,
Age of Empires
carefully and
2
lovingly taken
HD
it
on
and made it
Steam.
even
You can
better
get
and
it right
better.
now.
'Cause I
It doesn't
remember
have the
just
new
watching the sprites
textures,
move around in the
but it
original
runs
game
on
was
modern
very
machines
blocky and-
at a
it's got
resolution you
16
want.
facings now, so those fonts don't jitter.
That's
you
all
know,
you need.
Ton of work.
Why
to
aren't
make
they
the game
giving
and
what the
presentation
people
right.
are clamoring for?
Oh,
Star
yeah.
Wars Rebellion,
We've re-orchestrated, we recorded the
HD,
entire
That would be
fix the
EA.
combat,
EA is not
the
doing
space
anything
combat.
this year.
It sounds wonderful. The people at studios
There's
are
a Star
They're
Wars
called
Rebellion.
Battlefront.
You know about this?
Now,
I do know about this, Josh, and I have played it.
There
Josh
were some
beat me in the
aspects
most
of the gameplay
ridiculous
back
way.
then that were a little janky.
Oh, the
There
board
been
game?
updates
Yeah.
to the
Did
game.
he blow up
Board
the
game.
planet that you're
No, I was the Empire, and I was like a turn away from winning.
We've gone in and actually
The best Star
modernized the
Wars
UI.
game
A
is
lot of
Star
people
Wars
forget that
Galactic
original HD, we
Battlegrounds,
have
which
the
is
idle
literally a
villages.
reskin
Disagree.
of Age of
Star Wars
Empires.
Rebellion.
No, definitely not the Galactic.
Star Wars Rebellion.
People have come to expect in
Control
RTS.
group?
Then how did Josh win?
Excellent.
Tell us about it.
So
So
he had
all of that
Glitch
stuff
had the
is
Death
all
Star,
in the game
and
now. So
he
we've
was
taken
getting
all
ready
the learnings from
to
the age games that
like
followed and
blow up
brought it
one of
Blow up
several
those
planets
games.
that could be
And, you know,
my
speaking of
headquarters,
modernization, I
and he was a
saw
couple
that
turns away
it's
from
an
winning by
Xbox
default
Live
anyway.
multiplayer, which, as you may or may
Yep.
not know, that is the online matchmaking
And
service that Microsoft
he'd
uses
blown
for
up my
PC games.
fleet,
I mean,
and all I had
how
was
are
an
you utilizing
X-wing,
that?
so
well,
I sent an
we've
X-wing
Josh
with
has
Luke
been getting
Skywalker on
the
it.
shittiest rolls the entire game. Like,
Yeah.
I had destroyed everything of his in battles that he should have won every time. It was amazing, that whole game.
So I took my one X-wing up against the Death Star, and
yes, so game will be out later
used
this year, but you can
everything
go
to
right
get
now
the
to ageofempires.com
the
and
proper
sign up for our
rolls
multiplayer
to
beta.
destroy the Death
You know,
Star,
RTS
and then
games
played
really,
like
you know,
3
multiplayer
victory
is so
cards off of
important.
it in a row
we
and
wanna make
immediately
sure
won.
that this definitive edition of Age
Yep,
is the
and
absolute
won
best
like
you can make.
in.
So, you know,
You
multiplayer,
gained
please
more
come
in
sign,
that
play
one
with us,
turn than you
make
had
the
the
game
past
great.
10.
You asked me before we hopped on that you wanted to say one.
I wasn't even mad. I was
Empire
just
win by default.
surprised.
Not
Yes.
winning by default, but like he was gonna
yes,
figure
Age of
out
Empires
where
is
my
the
headquarters
I had
was
my-
within like a turn and would have been able to take it.
Basically, he had 3 places where his base was or could be, and I had 3 fleets where his base was or could be in a turn away. So it was like, if he didn't stop me, I was going to find his
Well, that's
base.
very
and I was-
Star Wars, actually.
I
It's a win
won
with
with
the
the
last big
Return of the
power.
Jedi victory
And
card.
we're going to be having a really wonderful Age
It
of
was
Empires
literally
event
like
there
it
and
straight
talk
out of the
a whole
movies
bunch
sort of
about
thing. So
stuff you're gonna wanna feel.
it was
I think I'm gonna
jaw
wanna hear
dropping.
it. You tease. Well,
what
let me
I do.
just say, Adam, thank you so much. for
Anyway,
hanging
Age of
out.
Empires 1.
Super excited
Yeah,
about
who was
Age of
asking for
Empires.
this? I'm surprised this 1 and not 2.
And with that, our
I'm telling you, they're
slew
gonna
of
release that
announcements
afterward.
comes to an end.
They're gonna
Before
release
we
that
depart,
in
let's head back up to the
8K.
mezzanine with Sonya for one last hello.
Well,
Thank you, Sean.
this
I
is
had
their
an
way of
amazing
building up
time
hype,
being a part of
and
some
then
awesome
and
Oh,
game
thank God
reviews
it's
and
ending.
sharing it with you guys
Empires 2
today.
though.
If you want any more information on any
So I
of the
need to
games
go,
that you saw
like,
today, go to
have
PCGamer.com. If you want to hang out with me and check
I'm
me out
starving
on the
as
internet
well,
at
Josh.
OMG,
Yeah,
it's
I've been
Firefox,
like,
pretty
man,
much
can this
everywhere.
thing be
I
over
had
for the
a
past
blast.
45 minutes
Did
so
you
I can
just
go
say
get hot dogs?
if you want to hang out and check me out on the internet?
Thank you so much, Sonya. I gotta say, it was a blast. I hope you had a great time. Thank you all so much for coming out. All of you who braved
In
LA's
partner
traffic
with
being
Ship,
on the
with
morning.
Intel and
All of you
Intel.
tuned in online.
Hour
Thanks to
and
our
a bit,
sponsors,
right?
Intel, Microsoft.
They're not going to have
Bohemia,
Aisha
AAA,
Tyler, so
you-
I
yeah,
don't know if
Ubisoft
they're
is
going to
in an
be
hour and
pitching any
15.
dank memes.
It is an absolute pleasure to have.
I wonder who
They
they're
don't- I don't know if
replacing.
there's going to be
Also
any
like to give a
dank
shout out
memes
to all the
pitched this
developers
time.
and the publishers at their
I mean,
recent
if it's
conferences
gonna
that have been
happen, it's
going
gonna
on
have
in
to
the
be
last
Ubisoft.
week. We were super excited about the titles there and following them closely because we're gamers at heart, and we hope that you too enjoyed what we had to share with you today. And as crazy as it sounds, E3 starts tomorrow. tomorrow. So we hope that you get the chance to get your hands on some of the titles that were announced in the last week that you're pumped for. From all the folks at PC Gamer and from me, Day 9, have a wonderful day and go play some video games. We'll see you next year.
Well, that was a thing.
Okay, I'm gonna go play some video games.
I'm going to
Just kind of uncomfortably standing there.
What is he
Waiting
doing?
until his earpiece tells him, you can walk away now. Alright, the camera's
Alright.
He's in the
They
middle
said
of
you
his
can walk
midlife
away,
crisis.
and he was just like, I know, but I like having an audience in front of me.
It's the only time I feel alive.
E3.
All right, we will see you guys in just about an hour for the Ubisoft conference.
And by we, he means not me. I'm not going to be there.
Okay, bye.
You'll
Glitch.
be here.
Nope. I'm going to be eating dinner with my father. Not dinner, lunch. Whatever time it is. I'm so hungry I can't even
here. Hey, Jared,
Tell
are you
him I
going to be
said
here?
Content, a whole bunch of conferences
I will.
yesterday. What was
Okay, well, I have to be here.
I think the best
that way
conference out of the
it's
entire show, and maybe for the rest
Ninja
of the remaining
Blues,
days,
also
is
starring
definitely
Josh.
Devolver. That
Oh, I see how it is.
Josh inadvertently hosting
you
Ninja
can't beat that. That is the peak
On my
pinnacle
stream channel,
of
yes.
What a developer wants to bring to E3.
Well, and there were only about 40,000
Listen, I
people
don't
watching
make-
on the Twitch
can't
channel
you stream
last
some
night
video
when
game
Devolver
Are we
was
still
having
live?
a conference. So if you're confused about what we're talking about, I would totally
I
recommend
need
you go
to
back
get
and
food.
watch the
No,
Twitch
we're-
VODs because
Okay, goodbye,
I would
everybody.
totally be down for that
be talked about,
if Josh wasn't getting
What
food.
about you? What
Bye.
about today?